Okay, welcome to Truly Rotten Potatoes, the podcast where we talk about the films that have really bad reviews on one of those movie critic websites that we're legally not allowed to mention anymore. We've got our first return guest.
That's right. Thanks for having me back, guys. It was
Morgan. It's such a pleasure.
Morgan
to have
is back
you here,
on the
mate.
show.
What have you been up
we had
to?
a tough week.
I'm
there.
back, baby.
Had a tough week where we had to put him in the sin bin. We did an episode without him, but we've also got another return guest. A man we will...
Yes, thank you so much for having me again, Declan. It's really good to be here.
Hayden's here, Mitch is here, and Declan's here. And then as well as that, we have one other return guest, the first one we've ever invited back. We call him Shanky Doodle. He hates the name. It's Michael Shanks, everybody.
Hey, what's up, Potato Family? I love being on the same podcast with the same name.
As you may have seen, like, the digs are a little different here. What happened since you were gone was we made a lot of money, and then we were found to be in breach of what was described to me as international trademark, and we ended up losing all that money.
Hey, we're just simple potato farmers now.
You know, it's good that there's a fixture.
That's right.
So shout-outs to the Chippy Boys, shout-outs to the Potato Scallops.
To my Rastafarians out there, what up?
Yeah.
To the wedges.
We had to pivot. But being sort of business-minded, that was easy for me. Once I got the other guys on the same page as me, you know, it took a bit of convincing, but here we are.
Yes.
What were some of our other rebranding options at the time? Because we did have to change the name, didn't we? We had some...
Yeah.
We must have.
Did you have a short list?
Yeah, it was very short. It had Truly Rotten Potatoes
We thought we could change a couple of letters and keep the rest. So what movie are we watching? We're watching one that Shanks is not on the list. I think it has like a 17%. So it's worthy.
Yeah, breaking format.
This was requested by Michael Shanks.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted an excuse to watch it, and if I can do this, it's kind of technically work, I guess. Mm-hmm. Before we go on this episode, I just want to say, I'm a returning guest. You said you invited me back. I kind of invited myself back, and I don't know if this is worth bringing up because, as I said to you, Hayden, I did this podcast the first time, did the whole podcast, and then realized afterwards that I know Hayden a bit, and just literally didn't realize that it was Hayden on the podcast.
Well, yeah, we kind of know each other. Acquaintances, I suppose. Yeah, and I also on the podcast was like, does he know that we kind of know each other? And
I could tell that from you, Hayden, because you kept saying back in the old days to Michael, and I was like, what do you...
Remember when we spent
growing up together with
Shanksy, growing up together, and he's just like, no. But since then, though, Michael Shanks and I have been playing so much Halo together, and he just headshots.
Yeah, I suppose technically we're in the same clan. Yeah. Is that how it was?
We're in a gaming clan, misappropriately called Blaze Clan. I know there's not nearly enough blazing happening in that clan. I'll be honest.
Absolutely not. None for me. Yeah. I'm very law-abiding. I said that like it was ironic, but actually I am because I'm a fucking loser.
It's not cool to break the law. And here in Canberra, I think...
Some sirens literally just drove past in somebody's microphone.
Yeah, that'd be me down here in Phillip. But you meant Lore, right? Law-abiding.
Yeah, definitely. We're not breaking the rules of this universe.
Right. In this universe, we're reviewing a movie today called... What's it called, Michael?
The Fanatic, which has got some great lore, by which, of course, I mean Data's evil twin android brother from Star Trek The Next Generation lore. If we're a big fan of Dr. Noonien Sung's android creation.
Thing that you said at the start of this podcast before we went live about how this is the first podcast I've been on in a while where everyone's not wearing Avengers t-shirts?
Yeah. You come in hot
with me.
Yeah, you come in hot with some Halo references and some Star Trek, and you've lost me already. Like, this is already a nerdy enough podcast, but you've stepped it up for us.
Yeah, well, no, now we're going to get into some Limp Bizkit references because appropriately tonight we watched The Fanatic, directed by Fred Durst.
That's right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, did someone already say this? Only 17% on Rotten on a website that rates movies. And so it doesn't meet the criteria for this podcast, but I don't think whatever we did a couple of weeks ago meets the criteria of this podcast where we just sat around talking shit for an hour and a half. So that's okay.
That was a good
and it does meet one very important criteria of this podcast. It stars John Travolta.
Yes, so good to have him back as that's the real guest of the episode, if you ask me. He's back again, John Travolta in the hot seat. This movie, that 17%, you could really feel the difference. I don't know if you guys felt this way, but
That's true.
I could feel that 17% really kicking in.
Yeah, it's really working for the movie.
Well, I mean, I felt that kind of on your behalf because I was feeling a bit bad suggesting it when I was watching it and thinking, like, look, spoiler alert, it's not a good movie.
No.
But I've also watched, the last movie that I watched for you guys was Bolero. And compared to that, it's like, oh, this is a real movie. Like, this is actually... Like, the crew are professionals.
Yeah,
that's right. But
everything else is pretty bonkers.
We're realizing that more and more with the movies as they get more modern, though. I mean, like, I think the last few movies we've watched from, like, Oh, no, that's a lie. There were some pretty shitty ones from, like, 98. Yeah, disregard.
The thing about it is...
But yeah, no, I agree.
This fit right in for me, though. This didn't feel like a non-0 percenter. This could have sat next to the 0 percenters to me. It was just a modern one because it was from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
it was bad, but it was also very watchable, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much in favor of it just now because I quite liked it, but it was...
I think I liked a lot of scenes. I liked enough scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The premise is cool, right? And we'll cover that in a second. The premise is cool, even though it has been done a few times much, much better.
Yeah.
And also, I think John Travolta is so much fun to watch.
So watchable.
I don't think I've seen him in something that I haven't enjoyed him in. Like,
he steals it.
He's so good. And this is why Staying Alive is one of my favorite movies of all time. He was in, what was he? The O.J. Simpson thing? I haven't seen him in something that I haven't liked him in. He just owns. Anyway.
Yeah, he's really watchable. Like, it feels like an easy comparison because they were in Face Off together. But he is a Nicolas Cage type, which is, there's not many actors like that, whereby he does a lot of, like, terrible straight-to-DVD, just kind of boring, generic action roles, but he's also, like, you give him a character, and he will just chew the scenery in every single scene. Like, he really loves, obviously, being unleashed on something crazy. Yeah. Just, like, even look at him in Hairspray, where he's in drag the whole time. He'll
take a big swing.
And I think the world is better for it. Yeah. Huge swing. This movie is just nothing but big swings.
And I think that was a mistake, to be honest, because... Fred Durst is directing this, and he's trying to do this David Fincher Taxi Driver-esque, like, what do they call those stories? It's like an isolated guy and kind of going down this road of losing control and people getting hurt and him not really, like, being aware of what he's doing. But Travolta plays him, like, for lack of a better term, very autistically. And I just don't think
he's meant to be an autistic man.
Yeah.
I think he's meant to have Asperger's syndrome, but he also exhibits every sort of physical and behavior from any kind of person who's on the spectrum. He doesn't have a defined personality or set of behaviors. He has them all at different points.
Yeah, he has every cinematic performance of somebody with mental issues in one. It's just like unfettered nuts.
Yeah, at certain points, I couldn't put my finger on it, but it was a Bob Odenkirk character that he reminded me of, and that was a very comedic character from Mr. Show.
From just premise, like, autistic guy is a super fan of a Hollywood star and takes the relationship too far. There's still something there, but I think it was the costume and the hair and the outfit that, like, went too far for me.
The glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the hair's certainly too far.
That's something I was going to say.
He's got this, like, bowl cut. He's got, like, this bowl cut but he's bald from, I don't know, from just above the ear down to the ear, all the way around the back of both ears. And it's sort of...
There's a mullet
like
going
one of
as
those
well.
English football fan haircuts, but with baldness, almost like a Keith Flint kind of thing. It's a bit, why would he have his hair cut like that? Like, just because he's on the spectrum doesn't mean he fucking shaves weird holes in his head.
I think it's supposed to be like a crazy guy haircut, obviously, because he's like a quote-unquote crazy guy. It's almost like a little bit of a Joe Dirt sort of like trailer trash mullet. But it weirdly, probably because films take a long time to gestate before they come out, like, by the time it came out, that became a trendy haircut again.
Yeah, kind of.
Like, it is kind of a cool haircut at the moment. And he's wearing a lot of like maybe 10 years ago, very bad Hawaiian shirts and stuff, but they're kind of like ironically back. He's like very trendy looking.
He
in
looked
a couple
pretty
of scenes.
sick, right?
Yeah,
and the glasses, the large spectacles and stuff. Yeah, it's a good get up. In fact, I think I might start dressing like that.
I think that's part of the charm of the character and the question of, like, you might see him on the street and just be like, oh, he's a regular dude. But once you have 1 or 2 interactions with him, and then even 5 or 6, it becomes more and more obvious. Which is why, we can't talk about Leah just yet. We haven't even introduced anything in the movie. So we start in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
We're just having, like, shots of the street, shots of the buildings in busy LA.
We got to go back a tiny bit, because before that, it starts with a quote. And, you know, these are normally from a book or the Bible or a famous witty person. And this just says, "You are a fan. Without you, I'm nothing." And the quote is from Hunter Dunbar. And I'm going, Hunter Dunbar, not Hunter Thompson, not Hunter S. Thompson, Hunter Dunbar. Are we meant to know who that is? And then I'm like, maybe that's the guy he's a fanatic of. But it's such a weird idea to have a quote from a character we haven't yet met, and then later on in the movie, the character of Hunter Dunbar does say that quote. And are you meant to be like, oh, that's the quote from the opening of the movie?
Yeah, trying to think of other movies where that would happen. Like if Star Wars was just like black, like the Force will be with you, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And you're like, oh, I wonder who this
Who's this Obi-Wan Kenobi guy? I can't wait to find out.
Can't wait to meet him.
No, it was like The Wire. You know how every episode of The Wire starts with a quote from a character?
Yeah.
But it just you got to set it up and do it every episode for it to become a thing. You can't just do it at the beginning of a movie.
Yeah,
that's right.
Again, I'm used to podcasts with people in Avengers shirts. Could we keep it more on Star Wars references, not The Wire? Is that cool?
See, The Wire would have been good if all the characters had superpowers. Then it would have been a better TV show.
Dude, that'd be
I would love that, actually. That would be great.
So we're shown shots of LA, of Hollywood specifically, I think, and then there's a voiceover from a female character that's saying, like, Los Angeles, I call it the city of bullshit, but who am I to judge? I live here too. And she just goes on to say more stuff about that. And then she's like, but this guy, Moose, nothing ever gets him down. He always just gets back up and fights because he's Moose.
This is when I was like, oh, he's going for like a Fincher thing. It's kind of like LA at night. It's shots of homeless people. And there's this kind of cold, monotonous voiceover from this female saying, like, everything breaks down eventually, even a person's spirit.
Yeah.
And then she introduces Moose, and it's Travolta looking really haggard, driving on a Vespa scooter.
He's riding around LA at night, looking a bit full on, and then he gets off and he goes into like a memorabilia store or like a comic book store, and it's established he has a relationship with the guy who runs the place.
Do you remember the first thing he says when he walks into this pawn shop?
No, I don't.
I do.
No.
He goes, the guy's like, oh, hey, Moose, do you want to talk or something? And he's like, I can't talk too long. I got to poo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we instantly know this guy's a bit funny.
Yeah, he's just a little socially awkward at this point.
Yeah,
he's just
that's
a little...
right.
That was like an unironic laugh for me. Like I thought that was really actually funny. It was so unexpected.
There are some good moments in there. There are certainly some hilarious moments
definitely.
in this movie. So they have this conversation, and it really drives home that that Moose loves this Dunbar actor. What's his name? Someone Dunbar?
Hunter Dunbar. I can't believe you haven't picked that up because that is said 100 times in the movie. Like, if you want to just hear people say Hunter Dunbar, which I do, this is the movie for you. His name is said by every character in every scene multiple times, and it's like printed on posters in the background.
Do you think this movie could have been more effective if Hunter Dunbar was not a fictional character and was like John Malkovich or something, and he was playing himself?
Yeah, if it was Fred Durst playing himself.
Oh, that would have been so good.
Incredible.
That would have been good.
Particularly the scene where he's driving around and listening. We'll talk about that later.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
God
I mean,
damn.
surely like any like famous actor you can think of would be like immediately more interesting than Hunter Dunbar played by Devon Sawa. Who we can get into, but like I thought must have been more of a heartthrob than I looked him up. I figured like he must have been like the lead on like Roswell or one of those shows back in the day, but not really. He's mainly known for a very appropriate music video that we can get into a little later.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I was
for
surprised because I thought he kind of did a pretty good job.
Me too.
And he did, like, to begin with, I thought, oh, he's a bit unremarkable to be like the dude that this guy's a fanatic over. Or do you be a fanatic over something or of something? I think you'd be of it.
I think
Fanatic of. But as the movie went on, he grew on me, and he seemed a little bit more charismatic, and I thought he did a good job. Okay, so that's my take on that actor.
So he's a weird movie star though, right? He's not like A-list Brad Pitt style. He's more like
right
horror movie star, and almost action star as well, like would play a cop in CSI and then do like the lead in a kind of cheap horror movie. And
He'd be like the guy
Moose
who plays
him.
Shane in The Walking Dead.
John Barenthal.
I want to say he's also in Baby Driver. You know, like I don't think he's ever had
Punisher,
a lead role. He's always there.
Oh,
yeah,
that guy.
yeah.
Well, I mean, the guy, what's the actor's name again?
Devon Sawa.
Devon Sawa? Well, he was the lead in Final Destination. I think that was his like big film role. So I guess he is kind of a horror guy. But this was like, I mean, I thought this movie was a lot better than I expected it was going to be. Like, but you know, there's lots of terrible stuff to get in there. But one thing that really annoyed me about it was the fake movies within the world of the movie, which is like way too fake. They talk about like space vampires as this like franchise maybe that Hunter Dunbar is a big star of, and Moose buys like his vest from it, and the vest is the shittiest prop. It looks like Disco Stew's vest from The Simpsons.
It looked like Andrew Dice Clay. Like he wears jackets like that. And did it say Rico, or it said Rico on it with like sequins or something, didn't it?
That being the character he played in one of his movies, right?
Yeah, well, presumably, and they show a clip of it, and it's called Space Vampires, and it's like, oh, it's like a sci-fi horror, but it's like they obviously didn't have budget to shoot like a convincing fake movie, so it's all like up angles, so they don't have to show a set. It's like an alleyway, and it's just always looking up at the sky and the tops of roofs, so they didn't need to get a location. And the dialogue is like, obviously they've written it tongue in cheek to be funny. Bad. It's just things like "sounds like a good day for revenge," or like shit like that, which was like funny when Grindhouse came out, and that was like 10 years ago. That was funny when like the fake trailer for Machete was released. And in 2018, it just feels a bit like ugh. Yeah. I mean, I expected Fred Durst to be more with it when it came to it.
I think
this red cap is getting a rap from his critics. Me.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the fact that Fred Durst directed it, there were certain things about the way people were dressed and the way that the movie just looked, where I was questioning what year is this set for about 20 minutes, particularly because there's a comic book store. He's listening to retro music in his apartment. He seems obsessed with the past. He keeps referencing movie stars like
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis and stuff like. I guess that just shows like where his character's head is at. But it took me a long time to place what year it was in until that app gets introduced later on.
I think that's what disappointed me the most is that like this is coming from Fred Durst. I think he co-wrote it and directed it, and he is someone
he's a story by credit.
He's someone who's dealt with fame for a long time and would have fanatics. He would be on the other side. He would be the Hunter Dunbar who's had people probably like break into his house and that kind of stuff. And you'd think that there would be like a bit of a meditation on this subject, something that gets said, something that you take away. But instead, it's just like this guy is autistic and doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh, dude, I only just remembered I've seen a very interesting video on YouTube right before. Do you remember? Oh, this is terrible. Do you remember that concert where Limp Bizkit played and a couple of people got killed at Big Day Out?
Whoa.
It's it's like an hour or two before that. But the interview is very awkward because it's just a fan being brought up by Andrew G, who has like a set of questions to ask Fred Durst. And Fred Durst is just blanking him the whole time, just like, all right, dude, cool. Just won't look him in the eye. And it's very reminiscent of the character that Fred Durst, John Travolta plays in this movie.
Yeah, right. I think Fred Durst was trying to inject a lot of humor into this, and I think I'm not convinced it's not meant to be a black comedy, right? Like it's a bit silly, and there are a few times where it's kind of funny, but and I think that his it seems like someone who really wants to make a movie has made a movie, and really wants to show off their influences and wear them on their sleeves, and it comes across that way to me.
Fred Durst was trying to make a movie back in like 2000. He was attached to direct this movie, and Fincher was meant to EP it, and they became friends. And then after that, it didn't go ahead. It was called Runt, I think. And then he was meant to direct Lords of Dogtown, and then he said it got too big, and he didn't end up doing it. But he did it. The first movie he directed was in 2007, and it was like a kind of drama movie called The Education of Charlie Banks, and it got pretty good reviews, and it played at like Tribeca and that kind of thing. So Jesse Eisenberg
is the lead. It's like
Eisenberg,
inspirational college movie, right?
Yeah, and it actually did well, and people like really surprised because it's very like non-Limp Bizkit-y. So people like he'd been wanting to do it for a long time, and he kind of proved himself with that movie. And then after that, he made a movie with Ice Cube called The Long Shots. and that was 2008, and then this one came out like, I don't know, 10 years later. So it took him a while to get a new one, and he's going for like a serious film. I don't think that this is a black comedy to me. I felt like he was trying to do like a Taxi Driver kind of story, and I just don't think he hit the heights. And I think the fact that the main character is called Moose and has that mullet and the glasses and has John Travolta playing him too far along the spectrum that it does get kind of funny. I think that's where he went wrong for me.
Yeah, I think this is 100% more Limp Bizkit to me. Like, this is the next step. It was like, how do I get more Limp Bizkit in? How do I get the nookie in there? And come on. I think he did it. I think that, well, okay, as someone who...
God damn it, the son of a bitch pulled it off.
How much of this listenership, or just you guys on here, listen to Limp Bizkit growing up? Because my exposure to Limp Bizkit is
daily still.
Specifically the Fight Club video game and like Tony Hawk's soundtrack.
Fight Club video game?
Oh yeah, he's an unlockable character in the Fight Club video game.
How do you make a Fight Club?
Wait, who is?
Who's
Fred
the
Durst?
unlockable character?
You say? Well, sorry, did you say Fred Durst is an unlockable character?
When you complete the Fight Club video game, you unlock Fred Durst as a playable character.
I'm sorry, I gotta drop off. Can you finish the podcast without me?
Wait, so is it like a fighting game? Is it like
it's
Tekken,
got to be like
but
Street
you're like
Fighter
Robert
or something,
Paulson?
Right?
It's
you're
like
Tyler Durden.
do you remember the Matrix video game? It was like a lot of those, just kind of
Into the Matrix.
Just kind of playing through some scenes from the movie, and then just like random brawls where there's just a bunch of guys running around, and you just got to keep swinging.
Are there any themes of Zen Buddhism in the game?
No, it actually is a very
It's called Into the Fight Club.
All right, I'm in.
I feel like the only way to make a cool Fight Club game is it's like a 2-player co-op game, and then at the end you realize that only one player can control both of the characters, or like something like stupid like that would like.
Well, I think
get
But
a
that's
lot of like think
that's more
pieces written
evidence
about
of
it.
Fincher and Fred Durst's friendship, right? He's like, dude,
See?
get me in that Fight Club video
right.
game. And
their initials are each other, but reflective.
Oh my god!
So we've only just gotten past him buying a jacket.
right.
We didn't even quite get up to the jacket. We got up to he needs to poo.
I'm still hung up on the fact that Mitch's like only exposure to Limp Bizkit is in the Fight Club video game. He's like, that's where I know Limp Bizkit from.
No, I mean, there's more than that. There's like, I don't know, Bam Margera.
Yeah, you love the Mission Impossible 2
Yeah,
theme.
yeah.
Take a look around.
But yeah, actually,
I loved Limp Bizkit growing up. I was a big fan of Limp Bizkit, especially Significant Other and Chocolate Starfish. Those records still
those were me
bang.
too.
They're very, very good records.
I listened to them on a road trip real recently, and I was like, man, they haven't aged well at all. Every song has the identical formula, but they all have like a massive
you don't
mosh
fuck
drop.
with a formula that works, man.
Yeah, it's like a kiddie
They're
version
huge,
of Rage
huge
Against the
beats.
Machine.
You mean a better version of it? Rage Against the Machine suck. Fuck Rage Against the Machine. Anyway,
This guy,
I had a big relationship with him in as much as like I loved Chocolate Starfish. Like that blew my mind. I was 9 when that album came out, and it was like the only album I listened to. And I was also growing up like a big wrestling fan. And there was I think it was a WrestleMania. There was a moment where, if you guys know The Undertaker, he was, this kind of undead, the Phenom kind of figure, and he'd been playing that character for like 20 years, and then thought, I'm bored of this, I want to be a bikie. So The Undertaker died, and The Undertaker came back as the American Badass, and he came out to Rollin' by Limp Bizkit, including where I think at WrestleMania 2000, or maybe it was a little later, Limp Bizkit played live Rollin' as The Undertaker drove like a Harley down to the ring. It was fucking awesome.
The American Badass.
Fucking sick.
So, I was going to say before that there's a podcast I listened to a long time ago with Fred Durst, because I realized a year or so ago that like I don't know much about Fred Durst, and I kind of like
the Pauly Shore podcast.
Yeah, it was. But before, like, you know, I was looking. I would love for him to have done a 3-hour Rogan or something, so I can just figure out what this dude's actually about. Anyway, all I could find was this Pauly Shore podcast with Bobby Lee, maybe.
Oh yeah,
is that a guy? Anyway, Pauly Shore. It was a bad podcast. Like Pauly Shore was just actively it seemed like the purpose of the podcast was him seeking validation from his guests. So it was real bad. But in the few moments where Fred Durst actually got to talk and was asked questions, like he sort of uncovered that, you know, before Limp Bizkit blew up or anything, he always just wanted to make movies. And when Limp Bizkit was blowing up, he was just wanted to make movies. It was like, oh, well, this is sick that this music thing is panning out, and you know, I can make connections here, there, and everywhere in the entertainment industry. But I'm a director, like I make movies. I'm not a musician, kind of thing. And then he
directed a lot of Limp Bizkit music videos as well,
right?
And actively took a hiatus from the band. I'm pretty sure to make Education of Charlie Banks.
Okay, yeah. So he clearly really likes doing this, and the movie's fine. Some things I really liked about this movie, the pacing was really fucked, I think. But when the movie starts, you get these really sick drawings. So like cartoony drawings of animated, like watching the color fill in of a crudely drawn Travolta in a scene that you've just seen from the movie on a black background.
Well, do you know who did the drawings?
Sorry?
Do you know who did the drawings?
No. Are you about to tell me, or are you asking?
Yeah, it's Limp Bizkit guitarist Wes Borland.
What? Oh, that's why I liked them.
Yeah, his name stuck out of the credits, and I'm like, I know that name.
It's almost like sick. How Adam Jones do like does he do any art for Tool?
He does the videos for Tool. Yeah. We can talk about Tool for an hour if you like. But those images, I thought they were really, really sick, and I liked. I thought they were really. Every time a new one would come up in between a scene or something, I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. I like this. I thought that was a neat device that was used well, but not quite well enough, because like too much time would pass between one, and then one would come up, and you're like, oh fuck, that's right, there were pictures. That's kind of weird.
I agree.
And I would say the exact same of the narration. There's a good 40-minute stint where you don't get any narration, and then suddenly there's a chick talking, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
They seem like they're just chucked in there to fill and to transition between things where they didn't have anything better to do, but they're still kind of cool. I wish they'd worked on it better.
But the narration makes no sense whatsoever, and I know we haven't just explained much of the plot of the movie yet, but the woman who is narrating the whole movie is just like a friend of his, of Moose's. Yeah. And it's never really revealed why we're hearing this story through her eyes, because we're not hearing it through her eyes at all.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, could it be similar to the movie we watched called Killing Them Softly, where she's like telling it to the police?
Yeah. But it's not. It's just not. For some reason, this woman's narrating the whole movie, and she's like, she plays a very minor role in the film.
Yeah.
The narration doesn't work, and I think with like a lot of even like bigger budget movies than this, which is obviously like a really small budget film, like narration's a really easy way to tie something together if you don't have enough budget to finish shooting. And I think that's what this really sticks out to for me, because she is a nothing character, and yet we're given her voice to intro the film, and she comes in and out. And there's another few examples of where I think they really obviously didn't have budget, and I know we're like a million years away from getting to this point in the movie, but there's a bit towards the end whereby Hunter Dunbar says like, please don't hurt my son, when Moose is at his house, implying that his son is at his house, but we never see the son throughout this entire sequence. There's also, which makes me think, oh yeah, they couldn't afford the kid. So it's like, oh, maybe he's at the mom's place, but then why is he saying, please don't hurt my son right now? Like there's gunshots and stuff that are happening in the scene, and the son never rears his head. So it's like, obviously like, it's too expensive. We need a kid around and go, fuck it, we only had him for a half day. Okay, we're just going to move on. Same with like, there's a couple of threads in the movie that sort of begin and don't end. And I really feel like that it was maybe in the script and they just cut bits and bobs and then sort of stitched it together.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. And I found it disappointing because I did enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
So when there were fucking blatantly, like, just clear, like, bad moves, I'm like, man, just, if you'd have done, I don't make films. Who am I to tell you what to do? But fucking, you should have done this.
So he's at this comic book store. He needs to take a poo. He goes and takes a. We presume he goes to take a poo.
No,
but
he actively doesn't, because I was watching it with Alex, and the scene ends, and he leaves out with the jacket that he buys, and Alex is like, "Well, what about his poo that he had?
What
to
about
do?"
his poo? He never did it. He got so enamored, because that's the thing. He is easily distracted. We see that with the wind chimes later on. But anyway, he's just there.
Oh, yeah.
He's buying a jacket. He gets the jacket. It's meant to be $800. It's some jacket that he's a real big fan of because he likes this Dunbar character who's going to be in town doing a book signing that night. He needs to get the jacket. He needs to get it signed. He bargains the guy down because he's so like kind of cute and charming, and the guy reduces it from $800 to $300.
It is a great deal. It is the best barter in all of history. Hey, this costs $800. Oh, please give it to me for $300.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll give it to you for $300, but you have to pay me before the end of the year. It is not established what the date is. So that is a sick deal.
But isn't it also just a guy taking advantage of a mentally challenged person?
I don't know.
Like, does it really cost $800, or is he like, dude, I want the literally the last $300 you have to your name?
Well, I think this is one of the problems with like the tone and the direction, and that like I genuinely think it could go either way, but I don't think Fred Durst commits either which way, because it could totally be that, but it is also like a legitimate merchandise store on Hollywood Boulevard, I think. So like it would be expensive, but it's also tat, so it's hard to know.
We do see more and more of Moose as a character. He is quite sort of charming in this sort of like, you want to care for him because he seems like he cares for you way, like, and you see that in his relationship with this woman. You see that instantly when he's talking to the guy who works at the merchandise store, whatever you call it, memorabilia store.
Yeah, he's endearing in an innocent way where
he's like a puppy dog.
Yeah, he's got a childlike quality to him where you just want that to exist in the world, and so you're like, oh, of course you can have that for $300.
The viewer's meant to like him a lot, right? Even though he goes completely crazy.
I think so, yeah.
And I think that's why it ends the way it does. But it ends. The ending is so shit and stupid. But like, I think that the purpose was, and we'll get to what the ending is later. But the purpose, I think, always was for like, you want to love this guy, you want to root for him,
yeah. Even
though he goes.
I mean, he's Lenny. He's Lenny from Of Mice and Men, isn't he? He's like a gentle giant.
That's exactly
right.
You feel bad for him because people keep bullying him, ragging on him, and you know that he's like mentally kind of deficient compared to them, and so you sympathize with him, but then things keep pushing him, and sometimes he's like accidentally going too far, and he doesn't even really know what he's done. Very much like Lenny from Of Mice and Men. He's also wearing this colorful comic book collage shirt, and as we said, he's got this mullet and these glasses, and he's really like overacting. I almost feel like Travolta was acting like he was in a comedy film, and Fred Durst was like trying to make a dark Fincher drama, and he just couldn't rein him in. And there's a point where like Fred Durst would be like, cool, so we'll set up the cameras like this. It'll be LA, it's the alleys, it's the nighttime, it's the hustlers, it's the con artists, it's the street performers, it's the fans. And then Travolta's like, yeah, so every time I fall out, I'm gonna fall over and hit myself. I'm gonna be like, am I all right? Yeah. He does that like 3 times.
Is my shirt all right?
Yeah. and it's like, imagine you're trying to get this movie financed, and Travolta comes on, and you're like, yes, I've got like, technically an A-list-ish star with a lot of, name brand recognition around the world. We can make this movie now. And he's like, cool, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I have a mullet. And you're like, oh, it's not really what I was thinking, but you're the lead. All right, whatever you want. He's like, I think I'm going to wear this color comic book shirt. I think I'm going to wear these dumb glasses. I think I'm going to, and at the end, you're like, well, I just want to get this movie made. It's been 10 years since I've got to make a movie. Travolta said yes. I got to let him do what he wants to do, and that's what you get.
There's no way to know this at all, but I sort of disagree that the costumes and stuff was Travolta, because that seems like Fred Durst to me. That seems like him trying to do this satire of something, and it feels in line with the Wes Borland drawings, and it feels like in line with some of like the grotesque sort of graffiti artwork that was part of the Limp Bizkit like oeuvre of And some of the music videos from it, where it's this kind of like dark, seedy alleyway, but in a kind of cartoonish way. But I do totally agree that I think that the whole movie feels like it's going for something super serious, and John Travolta's performance feels... Actually, it reminded me most of like Bedtime Stories from Tim and Eric. Have you guys ever watched that?
Yeah.
Whereby it pretends to be taking itself seriously, but he felt like an Eric Wareheim character, like a caricature of like a crazy autograph hunter. It just seems so Tim and Eric to me.
That's very
He
interesting.
kept falling over and doing like physical comedy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I loved the way that the character. I mean, at first I thought he was really in and out. And it was almost like when you're playing somebody with a mental disability, it's almost like doing a character, doing an accent of another country. You know, you can be in and out, but then every so often you can hit on something like, oh yeah, you really get into the groove there. And sometimes he would get into the groove of being really endearing, and then also showing the potential for being absolutely terrifying, just because if he was to heighten or like escalate to a point where he would be unmanageable, he could really hurt somebody. And I thought there were times where John Travolta did that really beautifully.
But having said all of that, I agree with almost everything you guys are saying. I still fucking like wanted to watch John Travolta keep doing what he was doing no matter what. Right?
Yeah,
it didn't matter.
You can't look away.
So good. It's just engaging and entertaining, even if it's wrong for the movie. I don't care.
Absolutely.
I mean, well, maybe the movie would have been worse if he'd done what he should have done. I don't know.
I way prefer this performance to a like late stage Bruce Willis performance, where it's just a guy who doesn't give a fuck and is just doing a kind of small budget movie. I think though that John Travolta was giving everything he could, and the performance suffers because the director didn't go, hey, John, peel it back a bit. You know, let's work in this area. Right. Instead, it's going like forever. There's a scene where at one point John Travolta introduces like a rocking back and forth motion that he hasn't had throughout the film, and he is going nuts. He looks like he's head banging. He's going so full on in it. And it wasn't consistent enough. That's what I meant when earlier I said it felt like he was doing every like quote unquote crazy person in a movie ever rolled into one performance. And it's on the director to kind of keep that measured, I think.
Yeah, he's doing that self-talking thing. Like every time he hurts himself, he says, "Am I all right? Am I all right?" But the first time that he goes into that club, he somehow gains entrance into this club and starts talking to these actresses and trying to get their autograph. He does this thing where he like touches his ear and then smells his ear, and then he starts doing that all throughout the movie. That's a really interesting one.
Yeah.
And
that was okay. I liked it.
That was like that was showing that he's getting anxious, sort of. You know, he can't stop smelling his ear. It's a comfort thing. They're all really interesting little ticks, but it's too much, and it's all over the place.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so
when everything all of the time.
We should push through with the plot. I'm going to try and steamroll a little bit of this real quick. So we're introduced to him. He gets the jacket of the famous Dunbar actor that he loves, and he's going to go get it signed. Dunbar's coming into the same memorabilia shop tomorrow to sign books, so he's going to come back with the jacket and get it signed. Meanwhile, that night, his friend, who is a paparazzo, she has let him know that...
Leah.
Sorry?
Leah is her name. She's the voiceover person.
She's what, like a 20-year-old girl that for some reason knows Moose. They're pals. They're friendly. She's tipped him off that Dunbar's going to be at a party. And she, because she knows these things, because she chases celebrities around town taking photos of them. He rocks up the party. Dunbar's not there. Travolta makes a scene, gets kicked out.
He asked for a strawberry milkshake at the bar. That's how you know he doesn't fit in.
I like that.
They're like, "What are you drinking?" He's like, "Can I have a strawberry milkshake, please?" And then the guy's like, "We don't make those." And he's like, "Ugh." And then he goes and talks to these actresses. It's all good at first. He's like, "Hey, I'm a huge fan of yours. I've seen you in this movie." And they're like, "Oh, that's so nice." And then he's like, "Do you know Hunter Dunbar?" And they're like, "Oh, he's not here." And then he's like, "Can you sign something?" And then he starts like smacking his head. He does that like, I'm so stupid. But he's really belting it. Yeah, and then security kicks him out, and then he kind of loses his shit. And Leah comes back, and she's like, "You embarrass you, like you know you can't do that." And then they have an argument, and he's straight up like, "You're not my mom." And then it ends with them just giving each other the finger back and forth. The flipping each other the bird, and then it kind of diffuses the situation, and they're like, "Oh, we're still friends. We're giving each other the finger."
I could not figure out their. Sorry, just opening a beer. That's a nice sound for that, Declan. When you're editing this, you can take out those peaks. I couldn't figure out their relationship at all because she goes to his place after this and says, well, like, I have to do this to pay rent. And I thought, are you housemates? But then she kind of leaves. I couldn't figure that out. And then, like, a scene later, they're hanging out. You know, John Travolta cannot overstate how, like, bizarre and out of place and like over the top crazy like cuckoo bananas this performance is, and she's like very normal, 75 years younger than him, and they're like hanging out eating, and she's just like, I love you, Moose. And it's not in like a sexual way, it's like it would have made sense like if it was his sister kind of. Well, and then you'd be like, well, that's why she's like looking after him, but it's an unrealistic age range for a brother and sister. Like, I wonder if that was maybe even in the original script it was his sister, but then the way they cast it, they thought something. It's odd. It's odd and inexplainable. It is odd,
and I was trying to put it together because we also later on we find out that the way he makes a bit of money is he's one of these performers out on Hollywood Boulevard dressed up as like an English copper. I don't know if it's a character. I'm not aware of. It's just a
Bobby.
Keystone Bobby. It's not a character. It's
just his idea of what acting is.
Yeah,
and so maybe she bumps into him all the time, but you know, maybe he's a bit infamous in the area, and they've become friends that way.
I'm thinking she saw those. She probably saw those two guys bullying him and then walked up to him and was like, hey, are you okay? And had a chat and found out he was a nice, weird guy, you know. Probably something like that.
What is he doing dressed as like an English Bobby? Like that's another low-budget thing about the movie is if you've gone to Hollywood Boulevard, like it is full of people dressed in costumes trying to like get you to tip them to take a photo with them. But they're dressed as like Iron Man, they're dressed as Superman, they're dressed as Batman. They're all like licensable characters. They're like, you're in Hollywood because you love the movies. You want to take photos with a movie character. They're hanging outside of Madame Tussauds. Nobody loves the movie character of English policeman. What is it? And he's always practicing his accent. He's just like, hello. Like, I'm not good at accents, but I cannot do an accent as bad as him. And he's listening to a recording of somebody who's apparently British to learn his lines. And one of the lines is, this is my friend David. Like the classic cinematic Bobby. I don't understand it. And that was like, oh, this movie can't afford the license to have him in an Iron Man suit. So he's got to do that. Like, surely that would have worked better if he were even like Frankenstein or something. There's got to be some sort of public domain character.
It's unbelievable because later on he shows like the breadth of knowledge of films that he has. He's not just going to choose generic British Bobby. Like, why would he do that?
Just get a hockey mask and call yourself Jason and you'd make money.
There's so much stuff of obviously John Travolta like improvising in front of the mirror.
Oh, I love
like,
that.
British dialogue. So funny. He once says like, oh, is that the Queen? We have the Beatles.
And even before he gets his book signed, or before he goes to try and get his jacket signed, he's rehearsing what he's going to say to Dunbar. And one of the things he's practicing is, this is a one and only shirt. I can tell you where to get it, but there won't be any there. Like, he's just trying to think of cool things to say to him. I love that little scene because that was him just improvising.
I thought that was a good joke.
Yeah, and he was just being like an adorable guy who's trying to impress. It
was very reminiscent of him going up into the change room after watching that woman dance in Staying Alive.
Staying Alive.
It was
just good Travolta. Actually, that scene where he's rehearsing what he'll say to Dunbar in the mirror, that's when I realized, oh, like this is essentially King of Comedy, right? It's the same movie.
Yep.
It's a crazy person who wants to meet his
idol guy. Yeah, it's the King of Comedy. It's the Joker. It's Of Mice and Men. It's Nightcrawler.
It's a little bit the Cable Guy.
A little bit the Cable Guy.
Very much the Cable Guy.
So it's been done before, and I think that those movies are all pretty well acclaimed movies, right? And I don't think the theme is I think the theme is a part of the reason. Like it's an interesting topic that can be
revisited. You know what would have really made it work? If Dunbar's name was Marshall Mathers and Moose was just called Stan.
Yeah, true.
Have we even mentioned that yet?
Actually, and
would have been great.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like the Stan thing. And in fact, there's a scene where Travolta's writing a Stan-like letter to Dunbar saying like, man, we met and you were actually a dickhead to me and you're nothing about the fans and stuff. I'm like, just like Stan. And then as we've been alluding to, we find out after watching this movie, trying to find out more about the man who played Dunbar, he is Stan in the film clip for Stan, which is just, it's weird.
Perfection.
I mean, I guess it's
Yeah.
The casting.
That can't be a coincidence.
No, I think it was probably some kind of. I mean, I think subliminally that kind of stuff works on people, right?
Is that true?
So
Is that actually true?
That's true. Yeah.
There's
true.
a couple other things in the movie that make that that tie in very nicely like that as well, but they come later.
I mean, it's got to be somewhat intentional. I mean, it's directed by a huge music star from the exact era that Stan would have been. Like, they would have been potentially competing like on the charts.
Fred Durst had beef with D12. They have a diss song against Limp Bizkit and shit. And Eminem mentions Limp Bizkit in a bunch of songs. So yeah, I don't think they were that friendly at times.
You also mentioned earlier that it's a lot like King of Comedy. It's a lot like Joker. I think that's kind of interesting because this came out, if not the same year as Joker, like within like 6 months of it. It's always weird with these like cultural products are kind of like resonating on the same frequency and they're kind of spewed out at the same time. And on the thing that is casting the guy that played Stan in the opposite role in the Stan music video, Joker casts Robert De Niro from King of Comedy, where he played Rupert Pupkin in that. He's now playing the Jerry Lewis role. And I wonder if Fred Durst like watched Joker and was like, but I just made this. I just made this and nobody gave a fuck. And now this thing's come out.
Joker made $1 billion. $1 billion.
Oh, do we know how much this movie made?
It's more than Gotti.
Oh, very little, probably.
$3,000.
It was like $3,000. Yeah, literally.
That's the box office though. So I don't know what that actually. That's like a opening day thing, isn't it? I don't know.
Worst opening weekend of John Travolta's career, but I think his favorite movie that he's ever made.
Oh, he loves it.
Of course he does. He got to free reign. Just be like,
awesome.
"Hello, I'm an English Bobby."
I think he's great. He's just so good. And why? Sorry, I wanted to cut in about this before. Like, why will we happily give Nicolas Cage that place, but we won't give it to someone like Travolta, who fucking owns?
I think Cage has done it more often.
Yeah.
So it's easier to see. And
Travolta's been in some pretty bad movies.
Yeah, but so has Cage. You know? I mean, even Cage's crazy movies.
I don't know if Cage has ever done mentally handicapped. He's been deranged.
Matchstick Man.
Oh, sorry.
Cage can't sing. Cage can't dance.
Okay, I retract everything I just said.
Forrest
You haven't
Gump.
been kicked in the gut until you're pissed blood. We've all seen that clip.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
That's not Nicolas Cage. But if Tom Hanks can do it, he made an endearing, mentally challenged man. Travolta wanted his crack at the Oscar.
Castaway.
Yeah.
It's an obvious reference, but this is very like Tropic Thunder, Simple Jack. Like that is what I was thinking watching this a little bit. But this is actually like it wasn't that embarrassing. Like I thought it was way over the top and wrong, but it was more fun than like. I don't think anybody's seen this movie. I saw it on a plane back in the day where planes had one movie on them when I was like a kid, and it's Cuba Gooding Jr. playing. It's called Radio. And it's based on a guy who had, cognitive issues. I don't know what exactly it was because I was a kid. But when I saw like the Simple Jack thing in Tropic Thunder, I just thought like this has got to be based on this Cuba Gooding Jr. role. This one thing, he's got like big fake teeth and he's running around and he's in like overalls and the whole crowd's like the whole town's like, I do love that Radio boy. He is so special.
All right, so where were we? We got Moose. He's on the street. He's doing his street performance as an English policeman.
Oh wait, he did say the line at one point as well. She was the one being a celebutard.
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
Never heard that term before. Just wanted to throw that one out there.
That feels very Fred Durst. Like, right? I can imagine him saying it like "bah" in the song. That's how he sounds.
So we're also introduced to these other street performers, well, one dude specifically who's a bit of an illusionist, but like a bro-y, like frat boy illusionist. And his whole thing is just like sticking a nail into his face and bleeding everywhere. And then while he's doing that and getting money on the street, one of his friends is like pickpocketing the tourists that are watching. So those two guys are kind of trash bags. But for some reason, this bro illusionist, like it shows him do his act. It shows his friend pickpocketing, and then the crowd disperses, and then it cuts to them a few minutes later, and they're like counting the money. He's like, "This is all you got?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's all I got." And they get into this really dumb, really quick fight where they completely dissolve their partnership and friendship, which is like, you know what? Fuck you, get out of here. Fuck you, and then it's over. You're like, what?
We just met these guys.
You guys had something good here. Yeah. Yeah, he's coming after Moose, and he's like, "Hey, Moose, you want to join with me?" And he's kind of like, yeah, being a bro-y bully, just like he knows that he can take advantage of Moose, and Moose is really uncomfortable and has that like, you know, hunched shoulders, and he's like, "I just want to work on the boulevard being my policeman. Please leave me alone."
And I had this written down in my notes, but I can't remember what he says. But he says something along the lines of like he doesn't respect Hollywood Boulevard or something like this. Or
yeah,
oh yeah, that's what he's telling to the passers-by.
I'll tell you what he says because I wrote this one down too. He tells someone else, he's like, "Todd's not a god. He's full of doo-doo. He doesn't respect Hollywood. I respect Hollywood." Which reminded me a lot of Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm, where he's like, "Do you respect wood? I don't think you respect wood."
It's also crazy that Todd the God, you know, has just lost his relationship with this like sneaky pickpocket, like super sleek guy. And then it's like, oh, you know who can replace him? 7 foot tall John Travolta playing the craziest character ever, who's literally named Moose. Like, can you imagine Moose being like, "Ooh, old Sly, I'm gonna grab this guy's wallet." Like, what do you want from that? I say that as a joke, but I think again that kind of speaks to the incongruous nature of maybe the script versus what's actually happening on the screen.
Yeah. And just returning to Travolta and his character, half the movie he's not making eye contact with people, and then half the movie he's making intense eye contact with people. So I want to give him credit and say that he was working the character out as he was going along, which is to say I give him no credit at all. He should have already had the character figured out before he got on set.
So then the bro illusionist takes meets Travolta in the bathroom with like what has he gone back to the guy?
It's the same guy.
Yeah, same guy.
Yeah. They break up and 1 minute later they're just back together again.
On again, off again.
And that other guy is Bill Paxton's son. Just so everyone knows, Bill Paxton's son is in this film.
Bill Paxton's son.
Bill Paxtingson. Hello, I'm Bill Paxtingson.
Ah, Bill Paxtingson.
What would Bill Paxtingson say? Hello, mate, I'm Bill Paxtingson. Nice to meet ya.
Hello, Governor. I have a couple of Paxtons on me.
Bill Paxtingson.
Okay. So Todd comes into the bathroom, the bro illusionist, and him and his old partner, who they've reunited instantly, they come in and start bullying Moose. And you also feel like at this point, you're like, this Todd guy seems like a drug addict, like he's a cokehead or a meth head or something. Like, you know, they just start bullying Moose and pushing him over and just like slapping him, and then they start like pretending to make him simulate oral sex with them. They're just like humping his head and stuff.
They're
it's just
bullying.
Very frat boy.
Bullies.
Yeah.
And then in comes the black security guard.
Yeah, he's there to save the day.
It's like
Our voice of reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you boys leave him alone now. It's very strange that suddenly we're expected to know who this man is, but he's just like an elderly black gentleman who
he could also just be beaten up by these two guys.
Exactly. It's like for some reason
get him just as easily.
Well, I guess he's a security guard.
Huge amounts of respect, but he is an old guy.
But he's like 70 years
old. A mentor figure to be like, Moose, why do you take this? You're a beautiful boy.
Yeah, it's really weird because like we don't see enough of this guy. And it's like, wait, who's this guy? Why does he care about Moose so much?
Yeah. But he's also like, Moose, you got to stand up for yourself. And then Moose is like, if Todd keeps picking on me, I'll have to make him stop. And you're like, ooh, this is the first hint that maybe he's not that in control of his emotions.
Yeah. Well, you know, speaking of that, this was, you know, oscillating on the same frequency as Joker. These are the Wall Street guys, like, that he kills in the train. Like that's this role. I mean, even his, like, transformation into Joker in that movie is right after he kills those guys on the train. He goes into a bathroom that looks almost identical to this, where he kind of dances in the mirror. It's these things are just like weirdly correlated, and I feel almost sorry for Fred Durst about it.
Well,
I haven't seen Joker, and I don't plan on seeing Joker purely because I feel like this is the superior movie.
I watched Joker in the theaters, and this was the same experience, if not more Travolta-y.
It was Travolting.
If Fred Durst had got Joaquin Phoenix what cunt Phoenix as we call him.
He's brought it back. He's gone and bloody done it.
He's done it.
Let's say if Phoenix played Moose and pulled like an Oscar-winning performance, could this film have made $1 billion like Joker?
I don't know, man. I like this film. That's my answer to that question.
Does it help? So is it about this point that he meets up with Leah again at the bar and they say that they love each other and she shows him this app? Is this what happens?
A very platonic brother sister caretaker kind of love.
Yeah,
it's odd.
Yeah,
but we need to set one thing up though. Sorry, so he ends up going to get his shit signed at the memorabilia store, and unfortunately Dunbar gets pulled away by his wife, who's expecting him to look after his ex-wife, who's expecting him to look after his son that night. So just before Travolta or Moose gets the opportunity to have his stuff signed, he's been rehearsing in the mirror what he's going to say to this guy. He's whisked away from the table, and Travolta's Moose is like, "Oh shit, where's he going? He needs to come back. He needs to sign my stuff." So he follows him out the back of this memorabilia store into the alleyway and sees an exchange between Dunbar and his wife. His wife's pissed. She's like, "I had a date tonight. You were meant to look after our son." And Moose then sort of sticks his nose in it and it's like, "Your ex-wife's a bitch. I'm on your side. By the way, can you sign this?" And of course, Dunbar's like, "Get the fuck away from me. This is like, you need to step off, man. Like, I'm dealing with some family shit right now." And that's what sets everything else in motion. He meets his hero. Yeah. His hero's an asshole and says, "I'd step the fuck back or I'll punch you in the face." We realize that Dunbar's a little bit aggressive. Like, I mean, understandably, but also like, he's more aggressive than you would expect a movie star to be in a situation like that. They'd probably handle it better.
Well, especially with a guy who's clearly like, not with it.
Yes.
You don't immediately jump to, "Hey, how about I sign your fucking face with my fist?"
That's right.
That was good. Yeah. The other thing is when he's in that line waiting for Dunbar, he's like the next person in line. He has this full-on fantasy, and it's like Dunbar sitting at the table, the signing table, in the light, and it's all this like angelic singing, and he's smiling right at him, and then right when Moose finally is about to get his thing signed, Dunbar gets pulled away to talk to his ex-wife. But it's really stupid as well because the guy who pulls him away is the guy who runs the memorabilia store, who's a good friend of Moose's, who gets Moose into the line, who tells Moose Dunbar's going to be here tomorrow, sets the whole thing up, and then he's the one who's like, "Hey, Dunbar, you got to go outside right before you sign Moose's thing."
He dangles it right in front of Travolta's face and he's like, "See, that's what you get for bringing the jacket down from 800 to 300, you motherfucker."
So that sets up the there's this weird that sets up the Stan relationship. At this point, Moose is sort of like, "I'm gonna write him a stern letter, or I need to go and talk to this guy," because he says something else at this point. He says he's disrespected Hollywood as well, or he's disrespected the fans or some shit. And then so now the two are meeting up. Ellie or whatever her name is, and Moose are meeting up in a bar, and Moose is like, "How the fuck, you're always following celebrities around town. How can I find where this guy lives? Because I want to talk to him."
And then she gives him access to this app that's like a star map for celebrities' houses and things.
Yeah, just a dumb move on her part. Like,
I don't know what
she knows him. She's not just had a couple of interactions with him. She knows this guy.
She loves him.
She loves him. And also, his response to that was like a very classic sort of Asperger's-y response of like, "Yeah, I love you," with like no eye contact, no feeling, nothing. And that's a moment where I was like, "Ooh, this guy could really, he could kill somebody, Well,
he lets her have a chip. Like, 'cause he's eating a whole bowl of fries, and she keeps trying to grab one, and he's like not letting her. Like, and then eventually he says like, "Okay, you can have one," and she has one, and then she's like, "I love you. You gave me this singular fry."
And then you're given like her narration where like it seems like her narration is constant like, "I don't know why I told him how to stalk someone and where to find him, but I guess I just did." And then
That's so
there's another
true.
time
it's
where
totally different to what she's like. Like in the scene, she's kind of bubbly, like Moose. You probably shouldn't do this, but oh, you're so great. Just do this thing. And then the narration's like, the world is a dark place. I can't believe the things I've seen. She sounds like full Rorschach.
Yeah. So Moose writes a letter to Dunbar because he's been rejected with when he met him talking to his ex. He writes this Stan letter, as we said. He uses the app, finds Dunbar's house, jumps the fence. A housekeeper sees him, but he leaves the letter in the backyard and runs off. Then he tells Leah, like, I went to his house, and she's like, you can't be doing that. I know I just gave you this app. I know that you're a crazy stalker. And he's like, I can't believe you're unhappy about this. I'm not a stalker. You're being so mean, just like Hunter's wife was.
Dude, I would be as confused as he was. If she gave me that app and then was like, you actually use the app? I'd be like, what do you think I was going to do? Like, you gave it to me.
Why didn't he just put the letter in the mailbox? Why did he jump, like, he broke into the backyard to, like, leave it, like, next to a vase or a bird bath or something?
Well,
like,
before
such a weird specific place.
Sorry, I was just going to say, before he goes to that house, the first time with the, like, getting in there, he goes to the gate and is just staring at the house, and then, what's his name? Hunter arrives with his son and sees him like staring at his house, and he's like, what are you, some kind of like deaf mute pervert? What are you, just like immediately aggressive again.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just wanted to bring you a letter. And he's like, I don't take mail.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why he enters the backyard.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that Matrix game? Into the... Oh, no, no.
Yeah, it's the
Into the backyard.
Also, by the way, in that scene, there was some clever foreshadowing that we'll get to for the end of the film. Because this movie is actually very secretly good.
Is the foreshadowing that there's a scene where Dunbar says to him, hey, get the fuck out of my neighborhood, I don't want to see you again. And then like 10 minutes later, there's an identical scene that's exactly the same where he says the same thing.
That's right,
so the housekeeper tells Dunbar that some guy broke into the backyard, and she's crying, and she's like, she was quite scared that she saw this guy in the backyard. And so he consoles her, but, you know, he actually kisses her, and then they stop, and she's like, we can't do that anymore. And he's like, yeah, I'm really sorry. And then she finds the letter, and when she finds the letter, so for some reason there's a backstory where he has been banging his housekeeper. I don't know why.
It doesn't go anywhere at all. It felt like maybe that. It really reminded me of like that Arnold Schwarzenegger story. If you remember when that came out from years ago, I was wondering if that was just like in the headlines around some point of the long gestation period of this film, and it just made its way in there.
And then it's funny later, because later Dunbar's on the phone to a friend for no reason. He's like, I kissed the housekeeper again. I don't know why I keep doing it. I know it's not the right thing, but yeah. And you're like, is that meant to be our like emotional connection to Dunbar, who besides that is just an aggressive asshole like the whole time? But anyway, so Moose has been told to leave Dunbar. He left his letter. Everything should be fine. But he wants to see Dunbar open the letter. So he goes back to the house.
Oh, doesn't he say he wants to see how he lives as well? Like he explains after whatever Leah, what's her name? Sorry.
Leah.
After Leah is like, I can't believe you went there. What's wrong with you? He's like, I'm not a stalker. I just want to see how he lives. I'm like,
yeah,
that's kind of stalkerish. So he goes back.
Yeah.
And he's looking through the
He's
like over the fence.
He's in the bushes.
In the bushes.
Yeah.
He jumps over the fence.
Yeah.
When he makes it over the fence, he says to himself, I did it.
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, but he does another, am I all right? When he lands.
Yeah.
I love that.
He's just kind of, I think he's just trying to see into the house. Like, I don't think he's looking for the letter or anything. He's just trying to see into the house. And the housekeeper comes out. She notices the letter, goes to pick it up. And then he jumps out of the bushes, is like, don't open that. That's not for you, kind of thing. And she's like, she's already freaked out.
Her response is to do what they do, which is slap. She just goes full slapbox style.
Well, she's understandably freaking out because he's broken into this house for the second time in as many days.
Yeah.
That's right. And she was, you know, she was brought to tears the first time when she was confiding with Dunbar. So she's scared. And so she starts attacking him, and he's like getting frustrated with being slapped over and over again. So he gives her an uppercut, and she flies backwards,
he
hits her
shoves
head on
her
a
off,
bird
doesn't
feeder. Oh, okay.
He doesn't
I don't know. It looked a bit like a smack in the head from below.
Rocks her with an uppercut.
It's the nub of his hand goes into it, like in between
palm?
the chin and the top lip.
That's right.
That's what it's like.
Yeah. Open palms are to the
And
straight.
this is where I think it's moments like this that made me think, oh, it's kind of meant to be a bit of a black comedy. He knocks her back, she falls backwards, knocks her head on like a bird bath or something like this, and then lies on the ground, and she's clearly dead.
Yeah.
She's
Instant
dead, right?
death.
Yeah.
And she's
There's
got
a big
blood
pool
coming
of
off
blood
her nose,
coming
and he
from
goes,
the back of her head.
Oh, you've got a lot of blood on your nose. You got a nosebleed. I had a nosebleed like that once, and like sort of talks. You got to shove tissues up it. Talking to a dead body, and I'm like, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, he goes, that's a nosebleed. I had one. They're not fun. You gotta fix it by putting paper towels up your nose. And then he just walks off and leaves her, and she's like got a
Well, he doesn't just walk off though, does
he
he?
hears the wind chimes, and then he follows the sound of the wind chimes because that's just how he operates. You know, whatever's next, he's just bing bang boom.
I think what that is, I'm not sure. I think that what that is that the wind chimes are near an open door into the house. So the wind chimes draw his attention, and then he's looking at the wind chimes and realizes the door is open. He's like, oh, maybe I'll just go into his house.
I thought the whole
Is that right?
I think so, and I think it was all beautiful. That whole thing is beautifully written and beautifully performed. It's chilling like that. I don't know. That's realistic as fuck to me. Like he'd just be like, he's freaking out, so he's trying to cover up the fact that the reality is she's bleeding and dying, and he's just like, oh yeah, you can just solve it like this. And then he's willingly distracted by the wind chimes.
And then you get this fantastic Home Alone kind of scene where he's just running around Dunbar's house, like trying on his clothes and like jumping on his bed. And, like,
he gets two
eating all the
antlers
different
and puts them
porridges.
onto his head, and he just runs around going, Moose is in the house! Moose is in the house! Here comes Moosey! Like he's some sort of like Nesquik mascot or something.
Are you guys saying that you read it that he knew he'd killed the guy, the housekeeper, but he was in denial, or did he literally have no idea? He's that far gone that he just can't even tell what happened.
I don't think he could tell.
I don't think he understood that she was dead.
Yeah, that's how I read it.
Yeah, I think he knew, and he was trying to put the genie back in the bottle. He was just like, and then the wind chimes happened, and he just forgot. Slash was like, okay, that's it now. I'm over there.
He's trying to put the genie back in the bath.
Yeah, he's trying to put the baby back inside the bottle's genie baby.
I feel like he plays it like he doesn't know she's dead, and then as he goes through the house, he does weird stuff like he takes a shit for some reason. He reads a script and he's like, that's a bad script. He shouldn't do that movie. He's like looking through his pills, and then he brushes his teeth with the kid's. Is it the kid or is it Dunbar's toothbrush? But it's not just a brush. He just fully cleans his tongue, like gets that gunk off his tongue, like he knows what he's doing.
And when he's inspecting the drugs, so there's like drugs up on the counter, and like there's a couple of sleeping pills or something. It's like these
insomnia,
are for, what is it? Fucking insomnia, yeah. It's like he shouldn't be taking drugs. This is bad.
But if he has empathy, he goes, "Wow, 2 to sleep, 1 for insomnia. Poor Hunter." I think it like waddles away.
Yeah. It's sweet.
I think this is another. I don't want to keep bringing this up like I'm some big like a joke ahead, but the scene where he brings out the script, it's shot in this flat wide, and it feels kind of improv-y, and it looks exactly like the shot in Joker when he just pulls everything out of his fridge and crawls inside. If you can like picture that, it's like the exact same shot composition, and it's just one of these weird.
That's
fucking
weird.
Exact rhyming visuals.
Yeah.
And does Joker do that right after he kills his own mum as well? Is that around the same time?
Stop spoiling Joker. I haven't seen it. Sorry. I probably never will because I've seen the superior film. But maybe I will one day.
We'll get to it. So, but Moose just killed a woman. A human woman who has been shown to be like maybe slightly exploited by her like boss who's kind of got a sexual identity with her. And then she dies. Is there really any comeuppance for her death?
No, not for a long time.
We forget about her for several days.
She gets a good mention from the narrator.
Yeah. The narrator.
Someone finds her at the very end.
Somebody finds her at the exact, like, convenient time, but, like, Moose never gets in trouble for it. Moose just carries on.
It seems completely insane that she's not found. Like, I thought, like, I was with it for, like, maybe 2 more scenes after this one. I'm like, oh, man, they're going to find the body soon. But then there are like 5 more scenes, and you're like, it's been like 5 days. Has no one gone out into the backyard yet?
Seriously, I think that's another one of those low budget things whereby it sounds so stupid because you think of this as being cheap, and obviously it's cheap, but I reckon this would have had like a shooting schedule of like that would have been so tight. And they would have been like, okay, we killed her. Now, in the script, he hides her body or at least drags it behind a bush. But, the sun's setting, we got to keep moving, so they miss it. But then she's lying dead, fully exposed on the middle of his lawn.
In the open part of the backyard, like on the lawn.
And it's not a fully isolated house.
Supposedly this movie cost $18 million, so it wasn't super cheap.
I think the 3 scenes that she was in were filmed and written right at the end when they realized he hadn't done anything dangerous up until the very end of the film. They needed him to
He never snowboarded.
He never broke the threshold.
Oh, except he did choke that guy one time when he was pushed too far on the street.
Oh,
that was the first scary moment when you see him being
Todd comes up to him and he fully grabs him by the throat and he's just like, stop bullying me or whatever.
And then again, one of the other stereotype of an old, wise, like, black character comes and says, like, you did a good thing there, Moose. He, like, descends from the heavens.
What does he say to that guy when he's choking him? He's like, I want your head to fall off and a truck to drive over it and splat everywhere. And the guy's like, almost
And then
dying.
we get a Wes Borland image of him being strangled. Yeah, that was sick. It was good. I like that stuff.
Wes Borland, whose head fell off in one of the Limp Bizkit music videos. He was eating a burger at an outdoor, but does anyone remember this? He's eating like a burger at an outdoor thing, and he like eats the burger, and then his head lilts back, but the head like keeps lilting back and just gets decapitated. I think it was Life in the Fast Lane. Maybe.
Oh, I didn't even know
No, it wasn't that one.
Because
that was the one where it was all goofy in front of green screen. Damn it, I can't remember which one it was. Let's move on. Okay.
Pauly Shore was in End Together Now.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I was just going to say that to that bully, he also says, and this is the start of the kind of the referencing kind of storm that happens in this movie, where he says, I wish that Freddy Krueger would come chop off your head, and so everyone would see your head get run over, and everyone would watch it on TV. And it's just this kind of
What he should have said, as he held Todd's throat in his hands, he should have just looked him dead in the eye and said, I'll take a chainsaw and skin your ass raw.
That's right. It's just one of those days. And when he's going through that house as well, he's going through the kitchen and he goes in the fridge. He's like, poor Danny, all that money and no ice cream. He really feels for him.
Which comes back later.
And that's going to come back later.
It's because he's such a kid. But yeah, so then he's in the house at night. He puts on a movie. And Hunter comes back. He hides in the closet. That's when we see Hunter on the phone, like, I don't know, man. I kissed the housekeeper again. I don't know what's wrong with me. And then and you just see like Travolta's eyes hidden between some jackets in the cupboard. And then Hunter like takes his sleeping pills, passes out on the couch. And so our boy Moose like snaps a selfie. He goes to snap a selfie with him, drops the phone on his chest. He stirs a little, and then Moose picks up the phone, takes another selfie, and then just like does the old sniff the earlobe, touch his face, and walk around the house. And then he puts on a movie, and we get like the only
kisses him on the forehead.
Yeah, gives him a little kiss.
Yeah, and he takes a selfie of him kissing him on the forehead as well.
Yeah,
it's great.
It was very like Tim and Eric. It felt like a total bye-bye.
You think he's going to stop touching him, but he definitely does not stop touching him. He puts his finger in his mouth.
He goes way too far. Yeah. Yeah. He does. And then he just pulls up next to him, doesn't he? He just like sits in the lazy boy next to him and puts a movie on.
First he throws a blanket over him as well to stop him from getting cold, and then he's sort of living the dream. He's like sitting down in Dunbar's house watching a movie with him, except that Dunbar's passed out on the couch next to him.
It's a little bit Misery all of a sudden, where he's got like his idol at his whim.
It gets super Misery. And then we have the only flashback of the whole movie, which is Moose as a kid. And it's like, I guess it's meant to explain like his entire personality.
It doesn't explain anything.
But it's just Moose being like 8 years old, sitting in front of the TV, watching like an old horror movie or something. And his mum's in the background
Night of the Living Dead,
with like a guy coming over that she's about to fuck. And they don't care that he's just sitting there.
Yeah, I think the suggestion is that he was neglected and the TV raised him, and so now he has Asperger's.
Well, okay,
that's how you get Asperger's.
I thought it was vaccines.
I got a couple of things to say here, and I remember I started this podcast being like, hey, this is like the only podcast I do with people aren't wearing Captain America shirts. and this is the second time I'm going to reference Watchmen, but this is exactly the origin story of Rorschach from Watchmen. If anybody's read that comic or seen the film, where it is literally a shot of a little boy who grows up to be crazy watching the TV, whilst in the background, in the exact same shot composition, his mom is a sex worker and has brought home a client, and he's like, "Hey kid, don't worry about it."
I knew it was familiar. I was like, I've definitely seen this before, where there's the kid despondent watching TV, like blocking out the reality of his mum getting boned behind him.
I think I know why that's familiar to you, Declan.
Well, it's also the origin story of the cable guy. Jim Carrey and the cable guy, the exact same thing.
Oh, right.
With his mother talking to some guy about being like, going out and banging a bunch of dudes.
Am I wrong, or is Fred Durst friends with Ben Stiller as well? There's a Limp Bizkit song where it's like, Ben Stiller,
friends.
you are my favorite motherfucker. And I think, does Ben Stiller
you don't just
him at
throw
the
favorite motherfucker around willy-nilly, all right?
Yeah.
Best friends.
He's
all right?
obviously
BBS.
trying to get a film deal with Ben Stiller. He just wanted to make films.
All
Yeah,
sailor,
true.
no filler.
Hey, have you guys seen that episode of Watchmen where there's they come in with like the customers come in with heaps of watches and they've only got 7 hours to fix all of them, and they're rushing around, and I just really like that.
And they
one.
keep showing.
It's
They
like
keep saying
Comic
we
Book
only
Men,
have
the
X amount
reality
of
show.
time to complete the task.
That's right, and it's sort of like it's sort of a spoof on 24. You got the little beeping clock down in the bottom left-hand corner, and they've got their little monocle things on, and they're trying to put the cogs into the watches.
But all the,
it's just
because all the clocks are broken, nobody knows what the real time is, and then they have to go out and observe the sundial.
yeah, that was a good episode.
I'm being annoying. I just want to go back to that scene just one more time of Moose's origin story as a kid, because I thought this was weird, and I know we're putting a lot of Fred Durst emphasis into this thing, but the film seems to be suggesting that because he was neglected and because he watched violent media with the whole like "they're coming to get you, Barbara" scene playing, that it was like violent media made this guy crazy, violent media made this guy want to go home invade, which seems totally antithetical to the movement of music that Fred Durst was a part of. Like, that was during this, like, you know, if the 90s had the satanic panic, the kind of turn of the millennia in the early noughties was like Marilyn Manson is making your children go nuts and go crazy, and that was exactly the same scene as Limp Bizkit. And it's fucking weird then that the director, the guy from Limp Bizkit is making a movie whereby, like, violent media did make you crazy. So maybe that is supposed to be satirical or something.
He was outspoken at the time. He's like, music cannot make you go violent. Movies, however, are a complete freak show. You don't want to watch that shit.
It was the satanic panic in the 90s, and it was the new metal frettle in the 2000s.
Yeah. The risk it for Limp Bizkit.
Let's rewind for a second though, because we did miss like the best scene in the entire movie.
Sure.
Somehow we glossed over this. Like, there is a scene, and I think it's incidental to the whole film, right?
If it's the one you're about to say, I think it comes right after this. Is this the car scene?
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So it comes after.
Yeah.
I thought it came before.
It comes right after. So
it's hard to know because this movie repeats its scenes a couple of times.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's pretty common with, it's like Nightcrawler, as Morgan said. Like, you know, each time it gets stretched a bit further and further until by the end it's like completely fucked up.
Except this only has 2 characters.
Yeah. So Moose wakes up with his alarm clock right next to Hunter, and his phone buzzes or whatever, and then he goes like, oh shit, and then he gets up and leaves, and Hunter kind of just stirs, but just missed him, whatever. Moose gets away. Then we cut to what I'm assuming is Hayden's favorite scene.
Can I say though, before we get to that though, this is when I'm like, wait a minute, there's a dead person outside. Like, before then I can forgive it. Hunter comes home like at nighttime, comes in through the front door, doesn't have any need to go to his back door, goes straight to his bedroom. I'm fine with that, but now it's the next day. You're probably going to go into the kitchen, make a coffee, look out your back window, something like this. You're going to see a dead body.
Your kid's going to run around.
And we cannot overemphasize how little she is hidden. Like, she is in a stark field with neon signs pointing towards her saying corpse.
That's exactly right. And so I thought that the movie was entering its final act, and the rest of that evening was going to be the rest of the movie. But we're now into the next day, and also, was his son with him? Did his son come home that
was
night
he
as
there
well?
that
I
night?
don't know.
Maybe he's gone to pick the son up, and that's why he's driving through the neighborhood in this next scene.
Yeah, the opportunity, it was all set up. He'd killed the nanny. named Fran. John Travolta had gone into the house, made his remarks about the ice cream, watched the home videos, and then fell asleep on the couch and left. He shouldn't have left. That should have been like where things started picking up, you know? But yeah, now we're made to reset the whole movie again. We're in the car. What happens? What are we doing in the car?
That's right. And so I think honestly it'll be best if I just play the clip into the microphone rather than explain what happens. I mean, I'll explain it, but he's the father, Dunbar, is in the car. He's driving his son back to his house.
Are you going to play Andrew O'Keefe's tasteless joke?
Yeah, I know, that's right.
It's also important to note the year is the late 2010s. Like, this movie came out 2019. So let's say it's 2018, 2019 when it's set. That's important to know because this kid's like 11 years old.
Yeah. And then this is the exchange they have in the car.
You okay with some music? You like a little Limp Bizkit? Yeah, you like a little biscuit? Yeah? Listen loud. I used to listen to this back in the day. It was hot. Oh, my God, that is nice. That is nice.
So I don't know if that came through very well, but he says something like, you okay with a little bit of music? Yeah? You want to listen to some Limp Bizkit? Bit of the biscuit? And then he puts on a Limp Bizkit track, which plays for a while. It's like, yeah, that is nice. That's nice. I used to listen to this when back in the day, man.
That means he wrote in the script, that is nice. That is nice. About his own music.
I've never listened to a song and went like, yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
But even about your own music, it's even further. Like, that's maniacal.
But worse than being in the script, like, I don't think it's in the script. I think he said, hey, Devin, so now you're going to say, put Limp Bizkit on, and I'm going to shoot. We're going to keep rolling, and I want you to improv, like, what you think, like, your reaction to the music. Yeah. And so he's sitting there, like, that was my director. Like, and it's probably a 10-minute take of him being like, whoa, it's nice. This is fucking so fucking good. Oh, man, I love this fucking song. And then they sorted it out in the edit. That's so awkward.
I also,
a little bit of the biscuit.
You want the actor to go, well, what song am I listening to here? Is it Rollin'? Is it My Generation? And it's like not even one of the ones that people know.
Yeah, no, it's the truth.
Yeah,
I will say though that the truth that's a sick song. It's a very sick song.
Yeah,
it's a sick song. I feel like it's a sick place, and everybody's judged by the sick face, sick dreams, sick life, sick kid with a sick knife. Yeah,
I feel like this is Fred Durst going like, you know what song never got enough attention and was like one of our less lame ones and like is like a little bit more sort of subtle. It's the truth. I'm going to put it in my movie,
and
then
angel
it'll have
from the future told me that a film very much like this will make $1 billion this year. So it's gotta be my film. So if I put this in, it'll finally chart. He's got like this monkey paw vision, this crystal ball of the future, and he's just got it a little bit wrong.
See, the film director side of me pictured it in a different way, which is it's a pre-prod meeting and he's talking to his music supervisor and they're going, we do not have a lot of budget for any needle drops in this movie. We have like the composer budget and we can't really afford anything else. And he's like, I reckon I can maybe convince a label to throw in like a B-side Limp Bizkit track for like a couple grand. Yeah. And they're like, you really want to do that in your own movie? He's like, no, it'll be sick.
Yeah, also, we know you wanted Lunig for those drawings, but we can't get him. Do you want to just get Wes?
Don't get me started on Lunig, please. My friend added me to a Lunig appreciation group on Facebook, and it's just ruined my life. Fucking hate Lunig. We used to have Lunig lose days, where every lose day he would post a Lunig comic in the chat, and God, those days always went 5 times longer than the other days.
Isn't he anti-vax now?
Sorry. Oh, he's all kinds of things.
Yeah, he's pretty
the main thing is
now.
he's fucking not funny.
He's anti-comedy.
How much of this movie do we have left to talk about? I'm like,
just on that scene quickly, like it's just like so audacious. It's just so like nakedly self-aggrandizing. It fucking rules. And I was trying to think of like another like maybe cross-media director who could do the same thing. And the thing that popped into my head was like, it's like if John Krasinski who directed A Quiet Place, rode into A Quiet Place that the whole family's hiding from monsters. He's like, God, these monsters are pretty full on. We should watch something to take our minds off it. You guys heard of The Office? And then it cuts to the whole family watching The Office, and he just keeps being like, wow, this Jim guy's so fucking funny. Oh man, the way he looks at the camera, I can't fucking believe it.
This is nice.
I used to watch this when I was back in the day.
He's driving around with his son watching The Office. This is nice.
It would be the family sitting around being like, do you remember before these aliens attacked how we used to watch Some Good News on YouTube? That was a great web series.
Okay, the Some Good News thing is like a total scam, right? Because he sold... We all know what Some Good News is, right? It was like John Krasinski being like, what if the news was like a picture that your kid did and you go, wow, that's a great picture of the sky, child. He sold that for some like record deal for millions of dollars.
To CBS.
But not with him hosting to a network. So what he sold was the concept of a person on YouTube reading good news that has been bought to not feature him. So he just sold the news as a format for millions of dollars. It's like one of the most cynical things I can think of recently.
Fuck John Krasinski, honestly. Fuck. All right, I mean, everyone's thinking
you got to feel for him. A Quiet Place 2 got delayed. Quiet Place 2 was meant to come out, and then COVID has moved it back like over a year in the schedule. And what's he going to do? He's going to sell a YouTube series to CBS for millions.
No, that's true. I'm sure he's struggling from being the lead on the biggest show of all time, and his wife is also Emily Blunt. Yeah.
He also shills for the CIA.
That's true.
I thought he fell apart. I thought that he was like on The Office, and then it was like, all right, that's the end of that guy.
No, that was a Post Malone song.
I don't know what the reference is.
Let's go back to Limp Bizkit B-sides.
Yeah, if we could.
That's Hayden's
please.
zone. That's where Hayden is comfortable.
It's my sweet spot. All right, so he fucking, again, a couple of days pass, and it's insane that he and his son, like, they kind of have to surely sort of look at the backyard to get into their house later that day. They still don't find this dead woman. And then they spend the whole day in their house. What happens after this? Because Travolta goes back.
Well, I think he goes back to visit Leah again, right?
No. But hold on, they're listening to Limp Bizkit.
Well, he nearly hits him with his car.
Yeah, he finds him on the street again, and he's like, I fucking told you to never come by here. And he really gets in his face, and he's like, he's screaming at him. He's like, you ever come back here, I'll kill you, and all these things. And he's like, oh, well, fine, I won't come back. I'll never come back. And he's like, get out of here, you stalker. And that's like his like Marty McFly, don't call me a chicken thing, where he's just like, I'm not a stalker. I'm not a stalker. And then we see another quick animated Wes Borland drawing of him. And then we see him drive. It cuts to like a night time, and Moose is driving around on his moped again in his cop costume. For some reason, the tires just start sparking, and he kind of like the machine malfunctions, and he kind of crashes into the pavement. He does another "Am I all right?" His
sort of
trademark
symbolic,
line.
Isn't it? The wheels are falling off. You know, he's not keeping it. You know what I mean?
No, it's a romantic thing. It's like him and the moped, sparks flying. He washes his face, and it does a bit of like a Taxi Driver kind of thing. He's like yelling a conversation to himself about Dunbar because he hates him now, and he's calling him Dummy Bar, like he's really distraught. He burns all his memorabilia. He like throws all this stuff into the fire. And the best line is he's like throwing old DVDs and stuff, and he's talking about Dunbar, and he goes, "You just pretend all day. Anyone can do that."
The irony. It's the worst red line in the whole movie.
If Fred Durst gets to put Limp Bizkit in and have a little like inside joke, John Travolta gets to make fun of acting.
Why does he go back to his house one more time?
To watch a movie starring Dunbar.
Because he's crazy.
Yeah. Leah confronts him, and she's like, you took a photo of you kissing Dunbar in his house, and you posted it on your social media. Yeah, and they just keep saying, well, stop looking at my social media. You are now blocked on my social media. We're not going to say Twitter or Instagram. Not sure we can get the rights for that. We spent it all on Limp Bizkit songs.
And he says, I don't get this, but maybe I'm dumb, but he refers to, he gets grumpy with her and like storms out, and he's like, she's not my BBF anymore. What's a BBF?
It's
Isn't
like
it BFF?
Yeah, I think
she says BBF.
I think that's the
BFF.
thing. He said it earlier in the movie.
It's a joke.
And it was like, a joke because he's dumb. He doesn't know how to say BFF. And then she doubled down on it, and that was obviously their agreed thing that they had. It's cute.
Well, it didn't land with this guy.
Yeah, it didn't land with me either. I genuinely thought it was just a fuck up. I thought they botched it and they just left it.
I thought I just didn't know what the teens called it these days.
And
like I wrote notes through the movie and have been forgetting to refer to them, but I wrote that note underlined so many times. I was like, oh man, I'm so clever. I picked up, they said BBF instead of BFF. These losers.
The first time he said it, I thought, no, Fred Durst is really mucked up there. But then when she said it back to him, I'm like, they have that thing together. But then he slams her up against the wall, and she's still sort of talking to him. She's not really perturbed by that. If that happened to you, you'd be fucking frightened, man. I mean, like, if a dude of that size and you're that...
He's huge. He's giant.
Yeah, he's massive.
And the crazy shit that he's doing now as well.
I want to talk about Leah for just a millisecond. She is from one of the latest iterations of Degrassi. And Degrassi, the 80s and 90s Degrassi is like one of my favorite shows of all time. But that's just a tidbit. She's in the crappy Degrassis.
Who's she play?
Oh, I don't know. It's like it's like from like 2 years ago, Degrassi.
Damn.
Like,
it's sick.
Hyper modern. It's like, is it good?
All right.
I love. I mean, I watch trash for a living, so yeah, I guess.
Right.
I mean, it's more of the goods.
All right, we should get. Can we get off Degrassi? We've been going for 90 minutes.
I've got an hour on Degrassi.
We've now been going for the length of the film.
Yeah,
it is a 90
This is a
film.
long one. We're going long.
That used to be our rule, that we wouldn't do a podcast longer than the length of the film. But, that was when we had a different name and a whole different show.
Yeah, potatoes are much slower growers than tomatoes.
All right, so this scene where he fights with Leah, he has a big confrontation with Leah, and he ends up blocking her on social media and leaves. And we have another animation, which may be the final one, but this is a shot of Moose dead with like he's shot himself, and there's like a blood pool, and you're like, oh my god, what the hell? He's dead? Like in this animation, it must be foreshadowing something. And then we cut to Dunbar's house. He wakes up with a sock in his mouth. Not tied to his mouth, just in his mouth, which makes it really easy for him to hilariously just spit out instantly. But he's tied to his bed, kind of Misery style, and Moose is next to him at the foot of the bed on the ground with a blood pool around his head. And then Dunbar's like, "Whoa, what have you done, you stupid psycho stalker? Oh my god!" And then Moose gets up and he's like, "Oh, I was just pretending to be dead, haha." And he kind of taunts or plays with Dunbar a bit. Like he puts on a Jason mask, and Dunbar's like, well, this guy's legitimately broken into my house. I've seen him numerous times. He's tied me up. And Moose is like putting on a Jason mask with a prop knife and stabbing him in the chest really hard, but the knife is like retracting. But he's still stabbing him so hard that it still like draws blood from the guy as well.
I didn't know what they wanted from the scene, because it's like, I'm stabbing you. No, I'm not. But it made you bleed a tiny bit. It was odd. It was weird middle ground.
And then Moose tastes the blood. He like puts his finger on it. He's like, oh, I actually did cut you a bit. Sorry. Ooh.
He's like, that's not good.
Yeah, that's real blood. And then he's like, why are you so angry all the time? I should be angry. I love you. I see all your movies. I think you're the best. Stop being mean to me.
And then there's just like, I don't know, it's like a 10-minute long scene of them sort of doing this dance of like, Dunbar's like, well, how am I going to play this guy? Is he a crazy... He starts to cotton on to the fact that he's just like a bit of a simple sort of autistic man, and he's like, oh, I just need to sort of like talk him down and calm him down. And he's like, I'll sign anything that you want, and you're actually a really smart dude, and would you like to watch my movie with me? Do you want to go downstairs and grab a beer and we can watch movies together? You just have to untie
Travolta
me.
also does like a series of parodies of movies and characters from movies as well, and one of them, he comes in and like pours gasoline on him, and he's like, Mr. Blonde. He says, I'm Mr. Blonde. So he's making a reference to a movie that is in the same universe as a movie that he played a character in.
That's true. Yeah.
He's making reference to Reservoir Dogs, and he was in Pulp Fiction.
That's pretty funny.
Playing Mr. Blonde's brother, right?
Yeah, he plays Mr. Blonde's brother.
They're both Vegas,
which you just can't do. You're just not allowed to do that.
He's also doing the Mr. Blonde scene, but he's not fully singing Steeler's Wheel. No. Like he's singing Stuck in the Middle with You, but he gets like half a line out because I think they're like, if you do more than 6 words, we gotta pay for it. So he's just like, in the middle, stuck.
Well, I don't know what. And then he just stops. Now he's like, if you do more than 6 words, we will not have money for a Limp Bizkit song in the end credits of this.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, that is scary when he's like pouring gasoline on Dunbar, and Dunbar's freaking Dunbar does a very good job in this scene. I think he plays it very well, although slightly confusing. But anyway, when he's freaking out, it's like, holy shit! He's about to fucking light me on fire. That's genuinely terrifying. And then Travolta or Moose is like, don't worry, it's just water. I'm not actually going to light you on fire. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know, it's funny. He's just like, it's this weird thing of him playing out his favorite movies with his favorite actor.
He's just doing his favorite fantasies with this guy. And he's like, come on, you'll like this. You must be into movies like I'm into movies because you're in movies.
Yeah. And then he's like, I'm sorry, I just don't really watch that many movies, Hunter says. And then we also get like the most important part in this scene, which is Hunter saying, Moose holds the power, aka the line that was quoted in the beginning of the film. Finally, we get the catharsis of knowing where that came from and what the context was. And then Moose is basically like, I'm going to get some food. And then he's like quoting the Night of the Living Dead, the Barbara thing. And Hunter bargains with him, and he's like, he does the classic.
But wait, like, when he goes to get that food, he goes into the kitchen, and we get another little bit of voiceover, and Leah says, Moose didn't just cross the line; he fucking nuked it.
Yeah. He nuked the line.
He nuked the line.
Nuke that line.
Just don't put fucking voiceover there. They didn't need to narrate anything there.
He just jammed that in there.
Well, speaking of jammed that in there, that's where I thought you were going to go with that scene, which is early on. The first time he broke in, he's like, Daddy doesn't even have any strawberry ice cream. That's no good. And then later on, when Hunter's tied up, he basically repeats that, like, where's the strawberry ice cream for Danny, your son? And he goes and he takes this jam, this, like, some sort of jam or compote or preserve, and he unscrews it, and he's just like dipping his dirty ass fingers in the jam and going, the jam, it's sweet, but it's not a treat. It's sweet, but it's not a treat. And then he like digs it out and fucking slathers it all over Hunter Dunbar's inner mouth, not the lips, but the inside of the mouth, and saying, see, it's not a treat.
It's like, try it.
Kids can't grow up like this. Your kids are going to hate you if you give them these kind of things. It's not a treat.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying Danny as well, and the way that he's saying, like, Danny's not going to like this treat in his full-on Travolta voice, it's like he's speaking in third person about his Grease character. It's like he's totally lost his mind.
I thought you were going back to Australia. We had a change of plans.
This jam is no treat, Sandy.
So Hunter's bargaining with him, and if I let you go, if you let me go now, I'm not gonna call the cops. I'll sign anything you want for the rest of your life. That's a good deal. That's a really good deal. Like anytime you want, you can come to my house and I'll sign something. And he's like, just don't hurt my kid. Who again, we don't know if the kid's in the house or not. But this like makes Moose lose it. This imputation that he would hurt the child, and then Hunter, for some reason, starts going into, like, visualizing as an actor. And he's like, I use this technique called visualization. And then he's like, sit down with me, like, picture what we could do together. And it goes all pinky purple, like, blurry fantasy style. And he basically uses this fantasy for Moose to, like, he convinces him to let him go. And it's one of those things where he's like, you want to take off these ropes from my arm, and he takes off one rope, and then Hunter takes his own other rope off, and he gets and Moose is like in this state of like mirage, like he's just fantasizing, and then
he's like a snake, and Hunter is playing the flute. It has that kind of quality to it.
Yeah, he's been seduced,
and then Hunter just hits him with the headbutt. Like right in the face,
and then grabs a shotgun from God knows where,
out of nowhere,
all of his Moose's right fingers off his hand.
The old bedside shotgun, double gauge.
Sorry, he had set up that shotgun earlier in the film. By the way,
did.
Yeah, he said he was going to shove it up his asshole or something.
Yeah, when
that's true.
the first time he was outside the gate, he said, like, if you come back here, I'm gonna grab my Remington 2-barrel and
which I keep by my bed.
Yeah, something like that. And can materialize from nowhere.
Right above my Oki straps.
Yeah, he said you're gonna be shitting blood and bullets. Or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bullets in a shotgun? Don't they take cartridges? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, his first name is Hunter. You'd think you'd know.
So he shoots him, but he shoots his hand, and he blows off like 4 of his fingers, and then cuts himself loose. And it's he's hunting loose moose in the house.
Well, this is where it turns into like it's meant to be a horror movie like pastiche, right? And like. Yeah, so Moose is like crawling through the house and he's being slowly stalked by a dude with a shotgun.
Which is the reverse.
It's lit in such...
Because Moose has been the antagonist, really.
That's right. Yeah. They swap roles. And it's...
it's something that you can't really do because you're trying to build up something over a whole film and then you just flip it. But at the same time, I kind of respected the move. I liked the flip. Not that it was like totally unexpected or anything, but they did it,
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm going to get into it as my final thought, but I think I have a thesis statement on what Fred Durst wanted to do with this film, and this really lines up with it, whereby Hunter Dunbar is the aforementioned final girl in a slasher film, which has been referenced earlier in the movie, whereby she or he is given the role of power here against the slasher that is Moose.
Yeah.
Right.
But... we've been following these guys for like an hour and a half at this point, or maybe 85 minutes or whatever, and where our sympathies were with Travolta's character because he was, had a mental disability and was being bullied, and people treated him like shit, and he was just a fan. He's progressively got worse and worse till we've stopped being on his side once he started breaking into Dunbar's house. Then he killed the housekeeper, and you're like, well, he doesn't even have sympathy or understand what he did. And now he's tied this guy up, terrorized him, tortured him. The guy's finally got back. But we hate this guy anyway because he's been such a dickhead through the whole movie. We hate Dunbar. So you're kind of not on anyone's side anymore. You wanted Dunbar to escape, but now you're like, I want Moose to escape. He's lost his fingers. He's crawling around. Dunbar's like kicking him down the stairs and like reveling in the power that he has now. He's, standing above him and just lording over him.
This would have been more effective if it was like explicitly made in a kind of we're making a lot of Tarantino references, but a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood thing, which is kind of similar again, of like an actor whose home is invaded by psychopaths, which is again kind of weird. So I mean, Fred Durst's like 2 best film nominations at the Oscars this year are doing the Fanatic. But like if Hunter Dunbar was like, you used to be an action hero, but now you're like old and fat and nobody believes you to be physically threatening. And then he's kind of taking back this power and kind of being an action hero. That I feel like there's a way that this could have been funnier or more empowering for that character.
Yeah.
If he was washed up, but he was proving that he could still kick ass even in real life. That's
if he was like
really
put out to pasture John Wayne or Kurt Russell or something. Yeah. And now he's like using he mentioned earlier, like, I'll show you the knife that I used in this film. Like if he used the shotgun he used in a famous film to actually fight off a home intruder, like, wow, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, if instead of showing that kiss scene in the fake movie, they'd shown him kill somebody with a flamethrower, like in
exactly. Exactly.
So he holds the shotgun like over Travolta's head, but he shoots one bullet next to his ear and he shoots another one next to the other side. Like he's really just like, I'm taking my time, enjoying like taking down my prey.
Yeah, also just like really driving home the point that people on the spectrum don't like loud noises and like lots of things. Like that's the thing he hates the most. It's not the hand being blown off or anything. It's the sound of the bullets. Yeah. That's really driving him mad.
Yeah, it makes you really fucking hate Dunbar.
Especially because after he shoots next to him, he's run out of bullets. He tries to do like the death blow, but he gets the click because he's run out of cartridges, as they're famously called. Thanks to Shanky Doodle for that one. But then he decides to just stab him in the face with a knife, and so he brings this knife down and stabs him just clean in the eye. And you're like, that's it, it's over, right? But no, he just like fucks the guy's eye up.
Moose's eye is made of Kevlar and it bounces off. But this is that foreshadowing I was talking about before, which is why this movie is actually smart, because when they first encounter, he says, what are you, some kind of blind, deaf idiot? And now he's shot the shotgun next to each ear, deafening him, and has taken his eye. I bet Fred Durst was like, man, I'm so fucking smart.
Because that was the clunkiest line in the whole movie. You're like, why did he say that? Deaf, blind.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm also really smart. I figured something out, because in this whole time, Moose is really wailing, and he's wailing like a what? Like a moose.
Wailing like a whale.
Also, he's got those huge tusks coming out of his head.
Yeah.
Oh, he does actually pick up some tusks at one point, doesn't he? And put them on his... Well, I
feel like there's a better word. It's not tusks. Those are the elephant one. What's the one?
Antlers.
Antlers, yeah.
That's what he does when he gets to the house, and he goes, Moose is in the house.
Moosey. That's right.
Yeah.
So then Dunbar has like a moment of revelation. It's like, oh, I just tried to fucking kill a dude, and this is kind of wrong. And I don't know exactly. Does he stands him up and like sends him on his way? He's like, just get out of my house.
He single-handedly picks John Travolta up from the floor.
Yeah.
A huge man.
Yes.
Yeah, he's heavy.
He stabs him in the eye, and it's like as the blade enters the eye and stays in there, and he's immediately like, oh my God, this is so messed up. I nearly killed this guy. And he has a complete 180 where he stands up in shock at what he's done, and then he pulls the knife out, I think, or helps him up, and then gives him just like a towel around his like 5 missing fingers, his hand stub that he blew off, and he basically like opens the door. Yeah, gives him a pat on the butt, and he's like, off you go, mate. We're even. We'll call that's game.
And so now they wrap the movie up really quickly, and it's just like, what the fuck? What? And it doesn't really make any sense, honestly.
He's walking.
Travolta. Yeah.
I mean, he's walking. He's walking just like he would be at the end of Staying Alive or at the end of...
Wow.
No, he's strutting. He says, I gotta strut.
He's just walking down the street.
Strutting down Hollywood Boulevard, dripping blood everywhere, with like missing a hand and one of his eyes cut out. And then like some tourists from Europe come up to him and they're like, wow, man, you have really the best ever costume on Hollywood Boulevard. This is mad. All those other guys are no good. You are so bloody and good.
This prosthetic eye. Let's take a photo.
Yeah.
But it's not even how,
he's like crying.
Again, it's a thing that I think like maybe works in the script. It's like the irony is he was trying to portray some sort of like crazy character to attract attention, and now after this crazy thing, he has this quality to him. But he's walking down the street in the middle of the day, and his bloodied hand is wrapped in a towel. That doesn't really look like anything, and it just looks like he's got a bit of jam coming out of his eye. So you've got these European guys being like, "Wow, I cannot believe you have jam in your eye. Wait, let me taste. It's sweet, but it is not a treat. Can I have a photo of you?" Like, I think that there's two better ways for this gag to work, which is he maybe walks past Todd the God, whose act is pretending to get blood all over his face. If he walks past him actually genuinely soaked in blood, and Todd's like, what the fuck? And he gains Todd's respect or something. Or cuts
Todd's
to him.
audience come over to him.
Yeah, well, like,
that would make sense as well.
Or the alternative is that now that he's lost his hand, he can portray a character who, you know, like on the strip, it cuts to him later, rather than being a Bobby, our favorite character of all time. He's playing some sort of, you know, hook-handed, nub-fingered something. I don't know. It just feels very nothing.
Well, he ends up, I think he does end up playing a pirate. I think they allude to him ending up with his life playing a pirate.
That's right.
Then,
no, they're doing a drawing.
There's a Wes Borland.
Yeah.
In a WBD.
So he's walking down the street. And Leah comes up to him because it's just like, we got to quickly wrap up all the characters. She's like, oh my God, what's happening?
Really quickly.
Yeah. The whole time you're like, they still have not found this dead housekeeper, by the way. That has never come back. But then the cops, it like does kind of like a wrap up montage, and the cops arrive at Hunter's house, and it's like implied that he's going to take the blame for killing the housekeeper.
Yeah, because we see the stern face of a Hispanic man who is accompanying the police officer to the house, and so we just assume by that we put the pieces together that he's the only other Hispanic man in the film, so he must be pointing the finger at this.
He was the gardener, right? He was his gardener.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there was
And so but even still, you try really hard to wrap your brain around like, well, hang on. So we met the gardener early in the film, and so he knows Dunbar, But how? Why?
Yeah, why would he then just...
What does the gardener know? Why is he blaming Dunbar for killing this woman?
He knows about the affair. He knows
proof.
about everything, that gardener.
That was who he was on.
That
That was who he was on the
hedges.
phone to earlier when he was telling him, like, "Yeah, I just can't stop kissing the maid." Oh, by the way, in that scene, he's going into his wardrobe. He specifically says on the phone, he's like, "Yeah, I'm just getting a sports jacket," and he's looking for a sports jacket. And then whatever he does, he goes and sits down, and just takes his sleeping pills, and goes to sleep.
It doesn't make sense.
Anyway,
at
we're so
all.
close. We're so close. So
I like to sleep in a sports jacket. I'm Sports Jacket Nicholson. Does that have legs or no?
Chalk that up with what cunt Phoenix.
Sports Jackal. What were we saying in Sydney,
I think
Morgan?
we were
doing a bit where
we were doing a bit where
hey, my daddy told me.
it was just like Jack Nicholson being really intimidating to cafe staff, like going right up, putting his arm on the bench and be like, "Hey, my dad said that I could have as much bangers and mash as I want in here."
I've been led to believe that you have bangers and mash here. I don't see it on the menu, but I have it on good authority from my daddy that you will make it for me. And listen up, Jack. If I don't get my bangers and mash, my daddy's gonna come down pretty hard on your ass.
I don't know why that is so good. I think it's because Jack Nicholson's like a very masculine figure, and he's inciting his father's like authority over this matter.
Daddy.
All right, so the final shot is a Wes Borland animation of our boy Moose as a pirate, and we know that I guess he's going to be a pirate on Hollywood Boulevard. He's missing an eye, he's missing one hand, and then it fades to black, and we hear the final echo of dialogue, which cracked me up, which is just a line of him going, "I am not a stalker."
Yeah. But also, just before that, you get like a wrap up from the narrator, and she's like, I don't know, she says something like, "I feel bad for the family of the maid, to be honest." And, Moose is just Moose. Like, somehow he got away with it. And it's just weird. It's like, so I guess we're happy that Moose doesn't get in trouble for killing this woman. And now, she also says, "I'm not concerned about Dunbar. He's a movie star. He'll be fine." And it's like, what are you talking about?
Also, it feels like a star is on the wane at best. He's like signing shit at a crappy merchandise store.
Yeah, with
his
like
movies
30
look like
people
shit.
in line. Yeah.
He's taking scripts whereby Moose is like, "You should not do the script. It is a bad script. Bye-bye. Waddle, 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 waddle."
All right, let's give some scores. I'm giving this.
Oh, and also, sorry, sorry, I know we've gone really long, and I apologize to the listener, and I do mean the single listener,
which is now me.
I'm just playing. He doesn't she say in the narration something like he's actually kind of okay with being blind and stuff? He thinks it's kind of cool or something.
Because he's fucking insane. Because he has no like genuine humanity. Because everything he does is like caricature of a caricature of a nutter.
Yeah,
he's a bloody bowl of Kellogg's crunchy nut. That's who he is.
We're actually sponsored by Nutri-Grain on this podcast, so
okay, great. Age of Empires for free. Okay, I know we're wrapping up, but I just want to say one thing. I think I do know that I have a bit of a thesis statement as to what I think Fred Durst was going for in this film, right? Whereby this is obviously.
Do you want to pull this into your final statements and review?
Yeah, sure.
This is his final statement. He's going to give a number at the end of this statement, and I'm going to write it down.
A number, done. Okay. So this obviously resonates a lot with King of Comedy. It resonates with Joker, but I think it is intending to try and create a horror icon, specifically a slasher icon. I think that's really what Fred Durst is genuinely going for. Because, firstly, Moose is a weird name. That's never explained. And I thought it was like, oh, maybe he does something that's like moose-like. I don't know the qualities of a moose to try and interpret what that might be. But then in the flashback, his mum actually calls him Moosey. So what's the name Moose? It's like, oh, it's something that could be it's like a nickname. It's almost like a superhero name. It's some sort of like iconographic way to, I'm a bit drunk. It's a name. It's a cool name. Whatever. But in the film, he talks about horror films endlessly. I'm wearing this shirt. It's all the horror characters. Okay, it's one of a kind. His house is laden with horror film posters, and it's weird because he talks about like how like they've made a new version of Maniac. It's not as good as the old version of Maniac, and yet all the posters around his house are the Michael Bay produced remakes of horror movies. If anybody's remember that, it's the Texas Chainsaw 3D. It's Leatherface, I think. So anyway, it's all slasher. He literally dresses up as Jason at the end, right, to stab Hunter Dunbar. It's just he conjures the name of Jamie Lee Curtis several times, and the final thing that happens after we hear him say, "I'm not a stalker," in Echo, is it doesn't cut to black and say the Fanatic. It cuts to black and says John Travolta. Fades out to black. Fades up. Is Moose. As though the name Moose was so iconic. It was like Jason. It was like Freddy, another person who's conjured in this. That's exactly what he wanted to do. This film was going to explode, and the next one was going to be the Fanatic 2 Moose hunting season or something. Also, the working title of this film I looked up was actually Moose. It was going to be called Moose, and then they changed it, which is not much, but in the same way that like you got the Friday the 13th movies that become like Jason X, you've got, and then like, Freddy's Dead or whatever, all the Freddy movies, like I genuinely think that was the plan. It obviously failed, but now on a number scale, if one's the worst movie ever and 10's the best movie ever, it's a stupid scale. I think I remember that from last time. It's so impossible to do. I would put this at like a 3 or a 4, but I think that would probably be...
You can give it a decimal.
On a decimal? Oh, no, that's absolute nonsense. Trying to ascribe a value of art out of like 100 percentile thing. Like that's like actually, at the end of the day, I think I'm going to give this 3 rubber chickens. What do you think, Hex?
Who's just arrived on the podcast? Is that
I've just finished up from Good Game and a bit of the Good Game Spawn a point, and I'm here to talk about a moose. It's hunting season, but I'm not talking about a big buck hunter that I like to play as one of my favourite video games. So I'm going to give this 3 rubber chickens.
Well.
Out of 10. What do you think of Junglist?
I don't know what Junglist sounds like.
Hey, I've been on Good Game 2 to 3 times.
Do you guys know what Bajo is? Because I've only recently been introduced to him.
Yeah.
You do?
I've met him.
Yeah, classic. Icons.
Yeah. Wow.
We've been to GamaCon.
Yeah.
God damn. I didn't realize he was as pervasive as he is. Anyway, hey Declan, can you reach out to Bajo for the podcast?
Fuck yeah.
All right, I'll reach out to Hex, though.
But, we got to stop reaching out to people that we made fun of on the last episode. Because they're going to listen to it at some point, and we have to explain it.
Look, for what it's worth, I actually have Hex's number.
Call her right now.
I mean, that sounds sus. I obviously don't mean it like that. I was on a show she hosted, and I have her number from it. But, So
I'm as excited.
You the number and you can be like, "Hey, can you do my podcast?"
I'm sorry. I'd much rather have Bajo on the show. I mean, I appreciate the offer of you giving us Hex's number, but really, it's the Bajo number I'm after.
And that number is 3 out of 10 rubber chickens.
God damn it!
Oh, you gave it a 3, is that right?
I think 3 or 4. Yeah, I've seen a lot worse, but.
That's a 3.5.
I think for people that aren't psychos that don't like you guys and like me that don't watch movies that literally cost $30 to make in some respects, it could be lower than that. But for me, I've seen I'm going to go into the Roy Batty monologue from Blade Runner, so I'll just say I've seen some fucking shit. And this was, it was like well made. It was like quite entertaining. I was never bored. It's bad. Yeah. It's poorly judged, but like, yeah, sure. So that's my review. Yeah, sure.
I'll jump in. I really enjoyed this movie. I feel like I'm saying the same thing every episode lately. It's an enjoyable romp. It was likewise. I wasn't bored. I was entertained the whole way through. Look, there are okay. I like this more than Fight Club. I don't really like Fight Club very much, right?
No. What?
I like this more than Fight Club.
You like this more than you like
something,
Fight
right?
Club?
Hold on. He's talking about the game.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
Hayden, you dropped out.
I'm back.
Oh, he's back.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Did you hear me say that I like this more than Fight Club? Because that was really all I had.
Yeah, did you hear me say that you were talking about the video game?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I would like to play the Fanatic video game. That'd be great. Play as Moose. But no. I give this movie a 5. I enjoyed it. It's just I think that the topic, that the theme is just interesting to me. I think it's a good theme. I think it was interesting. I love watching Travolta. I just think he's so good. Something about him, man. I really, really like him as an actor. So yeah, I can't really complain about it. And I thought the guy who played Dunbar was really good. I thought the woman that played Leah was not great, unfortunately, but she didn't really.
She didn't have anything to do
anyway. So
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that's right. She was fine. Yeah, I give it 5.3. Could have had more Limp Bizkit in it.
I agree.
Actually, I would have liked a Fred Durst cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that too.
There might have been one in there. Maybe we just didn't see it. I agree with you, Hayden. I like these sort of themes. I like the King of Comedy. I like Nightcrawler. I like all of these sort of lone wolf guys that are losing their minds slowly or have already lost their mind, and it's slowly revealed to us just how sort of on the edge they are. Or in John Travolta's case, in Moose's case, he's not really on the edge. He's just one of those sort of Lenny type of guys from Of Mice and Men. It is just Of Mice and Men, but with a horror overtone to it, really.
Sure.
I think Of Mice and Men analyzes the sort of relationship that you could have between two people that have totally disparate mental capacities, and that's the real charm of that story. This story is literally just charming because John Travolta's in it, and just watching him perform it's such a joy. Like, it really is. And the choices that he makes, although they're all over the place, and it seems like he's developing his character as the movie progresses, there's hints of real, like, insight. Like, he has some insight into what this character would be like in real life. Even though it is mostly just kind of funny, it's funny in a perverse kind of horrific way. I think the music was pretty good. The cinematography was pretty good. It was edited pretty well. There were obviously all those plot holes that we highlighted, and yeah, Leah was totally unnecessary, and there were plot devices that sucked ass. But, you know, those things like Stan being intertwined with the letter and the actor, and the Pulp Fiction Reservoir Dogs sort of crossover, and the Limp Bizkit and Fred Durst crossover. I loved all those little details. And as you said, Hayden, as well, just really entertaining. I enjoyed watching it from start to finish. Some movies are just mediocre. This one was at least interesting. So in the grand scale of things, this is my favorite movie we've watched so far on this whole list.
Wow.
I'm going to say 5.9 and hope that that's higher than any of the other scores I've given.
Oh wait, that's awesome. I just realized, because this has Travolta in it, this one's allowed to outrank Staying Alive.
It's allowed.
I have to think about it now.
Morgan, I can confirm that you've given much higher scores than a 5.9.
I felt like I had.
The highest you gave was Highlander 2: The Quickening, which you gave a 7.5.
Oh, well, that's different.
This is way better than that. That movie sucked.
That was fucking sick.
So
My daddy says that
does that change your score at all?
I can't change my score once the score has been placed. I can't change it.
There can be
So
only one.
You say you like it the most, but there's like 3 movies you've rated higher.
This is why you should advocate with me, Morgan, that you can retroactively change the your scores.
No, it's just that sometimes feelings and numbers don't correlate.
Sometimes my facts don't care about your feelings. And they don't
Just
correlate.
because 7 is higher than 5 doesn't mean it's a better number than 5, you know what I mean? 5.9 is a good number. There's nothing wrong with 5.9. 7's not better than 5.9. It's just higher.
Yeah, that's what you say about your penis size as well. All right, Mitch, give us your best.
Okay.
All right. I don't know. I think this movie ordinarily, like, if it wasn't directed by
Frederick Durstovich.
Frederick Durstovich, I don't think it would have had the same pizzazz. And I think knowing that it was Fred Durst and having that kind of vibe And even just that the sense of fun that I had watching the whole thing, like I was having a blast. As soon as I saw John Travolta put the vest on backwards at the beginning, and he has that big grin on his face, and he's riding on his scooter, I was laughing my ass off. And another just quickly, he did say that he felt this was a tribute to his late son Jet, who did have autism as well. So you could tell it was coming from a place of love. I do think.
Way to drop that at the end and make us feel like fucking assholes.
I knew there was some insight. I knew he had something.
But
I knew there was some truth to that performance.
But well, no, that's what he said. And even though he did fuck that up, he definitely doesn't. I don't know. That's just my feelings on it. I think it has enough charm in it that I don't know. I think I agree with Hayden in the 5.3 is the perfect kind of. There's a lot that doesn't work for it, but the things that do work for it just make you happy. So yeah, 5.3.
Wait, did Hayden say 5.3? I just put down 5.
Well, bump it up to 5.3, baby, because I'm on 1.
All right. Well, on that, I was looking through Fred Durst's IMDb page, and it does actually list like all the music videos he directed as well. But in the middle of that oeuvre, in 2005, there's a short that he directed called Fred Durst Sex Tape, which is 3 minutes long. It has 13 ratings, giving it a 7.8 average on IMDb. Higher than anything I've ever made. So check out Fred Durst Sex Tape 2005.
His penis is nicknamed Moose in that.
No.
Trying to think of a Limp Bizkit song and that I could use as a joke that intertwines with penis, but I can't.
There's bound to be one.
Hang on. Fred Durst Sex Tape? That sounds like a Mission Impossible
2.
Take a look around at that sex tape.
I guess he did it all for the nookie after all.
Come on.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously.
Break stuff.
Yeah.
I imagine there's a lot
Roll an
of
urban assault vehicle.
Significant other.
hot dog water.
Yes. See,
Just
now
hot
we're
dog.
cooking
Hot
with
dog
gas.
water. He's just saying things.
Hot dog water.
I know only like 3 things about Limp Bizkit.
It's
Leave
like-
me alone.
Wait, chocolate starfish means anus, right? Wasn't that the thing? Yeah.
I'm not sure about the hot dog flavored water. Is that a euphemism for something, or is it just gross?
I thought they just thought it was fun. I think I've looked this up like 10 years ago. I think there was just like, that's a thing that's in the 7-Eleven. That's kooky. I think it was just kooky. Because, they're a very kooky band.
That's true.
They're so kooky.
Yeah.
I've always said that
Kookier
about
than
them.
the Kooks, and kookier than David Bowie, who had a song called Kooks.
We should change our logo to the front cover of chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water. I think that's a really
Those
tasteful
creepy aliens.
front cover album.
I mean, is that a Wes Borland? Because it's not a million miles away from some of the drones.
Have you seen the picture books that Limp Bizkit released in the early 90s called Where's Borland?
He does wear a mask sometimes, doesn't he? Borland?
What?
He wears a mask sometimes.
He wears, like,
I have
eyes-
yeah,
images
yeah.
of,
He's
like,
like
his black
face
cape
paint
and stuff.
and stuff.
You know,
face
he's
paint
got like
and
a
hats
Jeff
and shit.
Hardy vibe. He looks like an extra in a Marilyn Manson video.
You know the drummer from Limp Bizkit. His name's John Otto.
Yeah.
Take it to
Because
the
he's always
Matthews
taking
Bridge.
it to the Matthews Bridge. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a rap project called Johnny Automatic. It's true. It was real bad. What about Fieldy? Fieldy from Korn went solo. I think he was called Fieldy's Dreams. Yeah, no, that was a rap project as well. Fieldy's
that
Dreams.
real?
Look it up. Oh man, yeah, that's real. Fieldy's Dreams. Oh,
That's awesome.
It's bad.
Wait, Declan, did we get your rating?
No, we don't need it.
Yeah. I didn't do a wrap up. I just gave it a 3.8.
3.8.
3.8.
Jesus.
All right, let's cancel this recording. Let's stop recording.
Okay, all right. Thanks for listening, guys. Just want to have a quick shout out. Let all my potato knights out there know that Yo, I'm living good out here. I'm eating fresh. Exercising
You're like Jared from Subway in every way. You're eating fresh.
Every way.
Every quality he has, you share.
Hey, I just wanted to say a big thanks to you boys for having me on here. It would have been great if you'd provided me with some, shall we say, bangers and mash. My daddy said that I could have as much as I like while I'm recording the podcast.
Sports Jacket Nicholson.
That's Hash Nicholson.
It's me, hashtag Nicholson.
All right.
We're
done.
Okay, all right.
Good work, everyone.
I've
Michael
been stopped.
Shanks, thank you very much for being on our podcast again.
Thanks for letting me back, guys, and thanks for letting me break the rules of what the premise of the show is to talk about this movie.
No worries, Michael. Now to take us out, it's Fred Durst with the theme to The Fanatic.
Are you ready? Limp Bizkit. We just keep on rolling, baby. Look into these eyes. Look into these eyes. You'll see the size of the flash.
No one knows what it's like.
It's just one of those days. One, two.
Behind blue eyes.
One, two.
And no one knows what it's like.
Limp Bizkit. Talking that shit. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? I can't this world on a DJ. We just keep on rolling, baby. Just stay away, motherfucker. Are you ready? Are you ready?
No one knows what it's like to be the bad man,
I can't this world on a
to
DJ.
be the sad man.
I think you better quit talking that shit.
Behind blue eyes.
One, two.
No one knows what it's like to be hated.
Right now I'm dangerous. Right now I'm dangerous. One,
To tell a lonely lie.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Now I'm dangerous. And if my day keeps going this way, I just might back up. Tell me what you gonna do now. I hope you know about the chainsaw. I got a fucking chainsaw. Keep rolling. Shit. Rolling. One, two. Check. One. Check. One, two.
No one knows what it's like.
One, two. I came into this world as a reject.
And no one knows what it's like.
Rolling. Dangerous. Yeah.